Hello everybody and welcome to Roll Together RPG and to the next episode of our Chronicles of Aeodrun Awakening series. My name is Josh, I use he, him pronouns, and I shall be your game master for tonight. And as you can see, I am joined by some very lovely people. Tom is also here. I'm going to get them all to introduce themselves. I haven't dissed Tom in a long time, and I felt that I had accrued the points to perform my ultimate.
To be humbled. It doesn't happen. One day I shall be humbled, but until then I am like God. Carry on.
I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves right now, please, and your characters and all of that jazz. I'm going to start with Tom.
Hello, mortals. I'm Tom. It's going to happen. Brahm is going to fall in the ocean. And you're just like, oh, that's sad. He's back in. Oh, he's gone. Anyway, Tom, I use he, him pronouns, as does the forecursed Brahm Shatteroak. He half orc, half elf, fighter warlock. In the last episode, the woman he loved kicked him in the head multiple times. It's a form of love language. And I also saw a famous fighter and just went, well, he's a bit of a creep. Don't know if we're putting that in, but it's what happened. Adventure.
And take that bit about your ex-partner kicking you in the head multiple times in so many different ways. Anyway, we're going to move on to...
I also took it multiple ways. Carry on.
Move on to
I have
Nat.
so many questions, Josh.
I would happily hear Jorah's answer them. Go on.
Anyway, hi.
Hi, Nat.
I'm Nat. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Elodie Fogg, who also uses she, her pronouns when she's Elodie Fogg. She's not always. Sometimes she is Celerimus, who uses he, him pronouns. She is a blood hunter, a mutant blood hunter, mixed with some artificer, and in the last episode we saw her in, she was Celerimus, and he was fighting in the pits amongst everyone else, and got some fancy trick shots off to a fellow archer, but yeah, got promptly, nobly saved Perry from going on a rage and murdering people, and instead sacrificed himself. So got somewhat humbled, unlike Tom.
It's a humbling episode. And finally, we have Talia. Now, Talia, you've had a one-on-one.
Yes.
You can say as much or as little as you like about your character.
So, at the finishing off at the fighting pits, at the beginning of their week, ready to go, here is a level 4 redemption paladin. Still, fiend falling, doing her best, having had some troublesome times just with the people from her home suddenly here. And some of them are also other people's people, which is even more stressful. And that is where she is at the beginning of this week.
Please
Awesome.
don't kill my mum. Just asking you politely, please don't.
What if she deserves it, though?
Right, so
Impossible.
how the one-on-ones... No, I'm joking. Anyway, before we get on with tonight's session, we have some sponsors and supporters to thank. Our sponsor for tonight is Phoenix Dice. You can go to phoenixdice.com to get yourself some fabulous clickety-clack math rocks, including some limited edition rolled together dice, which you can see are being fabulously displayed by both Tom and Nat currently. If you use code ROLLTOGETHER at checkout, you can get yourself 25% off your purchase. Roll together in all caps, I should say. We are also proud to be supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. If you use exclamation point code in chat right now, you can get yourself a free Electrum chest, which you can use to get yourself some goodies to help your characters who can travel through various different worlds and gather different party members across all forms of media at the minute. We're also proud to be supported and support Michael Dobson's character art. All of our lovely characters here, you can see, have got some fantastic art that is sort of dotted around on the overlay. That was made lovingly by Mike. If you'd like to see your own D&D characters or other TTRPG characters done in that same art style, hit Mike up on his Instagram for commissions.
Don't hit Mike.
Please don't hit Mike, but send Mike a message. Massive thank you to the D20 Club on Patreon. They are fantastic. They are the best. You can join them from as little as one of your local currency per month, or one goat, which must be sent to Tom for what has now been established as very, very many reasons by following the links in chat or in the description below. Speaking of the description below, if you are watching us on YouTube or on the Red app, I should say, please do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and commenting down below. And I think with that, we are going to dive into tonight's session. So, a couple of things have happened during the last session. My players have perfectly described what their characters got up to in their last session. Between now and then, or between then and now, should I say, there's been a 7-day down period where they've been able to do various different things throughout Merkstead and get themselves ready for their next mission that they've been tasked to go on. This particular group have been tasked with travelling to an island called Marlais Rest to look for various items and maybe some allies. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each individual person and see what they got up to during their downtime. I'm going to start with Tom, and this gives you guys the opportunity to roleplay amongst yourselves, tell the audience and each other what you got up to during that time. I know already, but it's just nice to let everybody else know. So, Tom, what did Brahm get up to during this 7 days?
So when Brahm woke up from being kicked in the head multiple times, he was like, fiddly-dee. Okay, I'm glad to see that Greta can take care of things. That's a concern off my back. He has done multiple things. First, not in any particular order, he went back to the blacksmith to retrieve his shield and his mace. He also... what else has he done? He back to the fighting pit after... he spent a bit of time looking for his mother. You know my mother, the harbinger of war. So he didn't find her, unfortunately, but he has left a letter, which is a very polite thing to do, and one should always leave a letter. Speaking of maybe having a word with the town's with Greta, and see she's well, and maybe she would also appreciate a letter, as he informs her that he is once again leaving. And he does, in fact, leave a letter for such a little orcish boy, because sometimes it would be quite nice to have a letter from your mother's friend, if he happened to get eaten by the Kraken. Also, while you're talking to your friend, maybe you see if you can procure a few items for healing, and maybe she can have a look at your hand, which got shattered a few years back and hasn't exactly healed properly, and so yeah. Also, generally cooking, preparing. There is also a patient who needs a bit of healing magic, and also a young woman who's sitting by the bedside, and so you have to make sure she's eating her soup, healing soup. He's twitchy. Again, it's the issue that he's been having this entire time of staying in one place for too long. But it's going to be resolved. He's going to see. That's fine. This new place is new, exciting, and also vaguely having conversations with people about, it's always right to do the honourable thing, right, and not run. If you've got a route, to focus on that rather than running away. I also realise that people currently at the virtual table, probably, actually, I think they've all got very different opinions on that, as he not subtly goes, so, what would you do in this situation? So that is a conversation that he's had with, I want to say, most of the party, and I'm very interested to see what the other players would have done. Just Lucy and go, oh, why would I know? Shoot. Yeah, so I almost feel like all the stuff he's done, he's managed to do in like a day, and then was like, cool, 6 days of just trying not to get under people's feet. Whittling. He's got back into his woodwork and started making little items, little statuettes of things he's seeing, birds, people, just keeping his hand busy.
Awesome.
That was a 5-minute monologue on what I've been doing, so I'll just have a little nap.
Well, before we move on to the next person, a very important question I have to ask you is, how many potions did you buy from Greta? Potions normally cost 50 gold pieces each. However, she's given your group a 50% discount, 25% because you're part of Solomon's, 25% because you're working with the Sparrows. So they're 25 gold pieces each. Nothing to do with the fact that you are any sort of important thing to her.
No, of course, it's just business. So you're saying 25 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's 2. Should we say 6? So knowing I've got a party, so yeah. So is this just not bog standard, but like normal healing potions?
Normal healing potions, 2d4
Okay.
plus 2, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Healing, or 2d4 plus 4, one of the two. They're on D&D Beyond, so you can add those to your carriage.
I like to think Gret also in Worlds, like, it could be plus 4, could be plus 6. F around and find out. Why don't you, Brambles? I'm like, oh, no, fair. Yeah, so just good to stock up. Also, does she have anything that might help with war wounds?
Not your particular wound, because it would have healed. I mean, it happened quite a long time ago now, so it's healed in a way where, because it wasn't set properly, it's healed funny. So you've got probably like an extra bump in your hand and some extra lumps and things. For those who don't know, and that happened to my wedding finger, and. Really? I got dislocated when I was younger and didn't heal properly, so I have a big bump on my wedding ring finger, hence why I'm not wearing a wedding ring, because I can't. So, yeah, it's that sort of thing. I don't know why I shared that piece of information, but it seemed relevant to the story, so I shared it. Okay, awesome. So, just going over the list of things that you sent me as well. Your mother doesn't come back.
Boo.
During the time. You can leave a letter with both at the... hits for her, and leave a letter for Oro as well. Greta doesn't really want to talk to you that much about personal stuff at the minute.
I'm not.
She needs a bit of time. Yeah.
I do explain. I was like, I'm going to see. So, also, I know I kind of just said, be careful. My mum is in town, and I think she's working for the baddies. So don't let her in.
She does go a bit dark. Like, she gets that sort of like dark anime expression on her face when you say that, and chooses to not talk about this anymore. When you pick up your mason shield from the blacksmiths, the shield wasn't upgraded in any way, shape, or form. It was just fixed. So you've now got. She
was upgrading it. She said she had an idea for it.
What, for the shield?
Yeah.
Okay, so the shield and the mace both have holes in them. Oh. She's just put holes in them. That's it.
Great. Compromise that structural integrity of the shield.
The sword right through.
I just look. I got a pick and just went crook, and I was like, "Well, that was broken."
Now she's carved orb-shaped holes into them. The shield.
Amazing.
If you put a elemental orb into the shield, you will gain resistance to a damage type, depending on the orb, for a number of times, depending on how many charges are in it. The same with the mace. The hole itself is in the actual mace head on like the bottom bit where the pommel goes into the ball. It's near there, and if you slot one of those in, it will infuse the mace, making it magical for 1, 2, or 3 attacks, depending on the orb that you pick up. So
I think Bram also was like, so how do I get orbs?
Well, and this is Ingrid talking to you.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a magic shop up at the old Wizard's Tower, but he's not been there for a couple of years. So we have a Roman trader that comes down and trades in the markets every couple of months, but He came about 4 weeks ago, so he's not due. He's probably not due for another 8 to 12 weeks.
Brahm politely just puts his fingers in the holes. I'm like, right, okay, okay, I'll see what you can find then. Thank you. It's nice. It's good to get the shield properly fixed as well.
I mean, if I could make them myself, I would, but unfortunately, I can't. But
if I can find stuff and bring them back, is it like because you could scan? Could you do that?
I could. Sorry, I've got hair in my mouth.
I understand
Okay.
you've got a fine beard, but
yeah, no, I definitely could. Easy enough to do. The only problem that I would have is I can't recharge them, so they would be very limited use. That's when you would need a mage who knows how to transfer magical energies into things. So
I think there might be someone we could find. Let's, no, thank you, Ingrid. That's great. Find wizard. Brahm writes in his little notebook. No, much appreciated. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So.
yeah, and then that's your downtime done. We're going to move over to
pretty
that
much.
next.
Sure. Okay, so Elodie's main priorities during this week would have been reading any of the books. I know we discussed with Solomon, like, a lot of the stuff that she requested could only have been got from the library in Abercathus, but anything that he does have, she would have been sat reading through that. Also, probably would have got a bit panicky about the idea of sitting on a boat for a long period of time. So if you had anything on seafaring, tying knots, things you need to know for out at sea, fairy tales to do with sea travel, she would have been consuming those as well. And then splitting her time between that and going to Goggle Springs to try and ingratiate herself with Agatha, and seeing if Agatha wouldn't mind her sitting. I just want to sit and watch you work and take copious notes.
Oh, I mean, I definitely, yeah, I'd like that. I haven't had any company for a long time since my family left. So, if you'd like to sit in the corner and listen, if you write everything down that I say,
Oh, I will.
I might, yeah. I'm not. I don't quite know you that well, so maybe after a
I'm
little
Elodie.
while. Oh, hello, Elodie. I'm Agnes. Agnes Gogglespring.
Elodie Fogg, originally from... Oh, flip, this is where... Now, scrolls through her notes to remember the name of the place she says that she's from. No, she doesn't say that she's from Abercathus.
No, I think you are from...
Mestus.
Mestus, yeah.
I'm Elodie Fogg. Well, exactly. I'm Elodie Fogg. I'm from Mestus, and I'm a member of the mercenary company with Solomon.
Old Solomon, he's an old git, he is. Yeah, good lad he is, yeah. Right, well, sit down. I'll teach you all about this sort of stuff, and you can spend some time. She doesn't actually teach you anything. She's just working away.
I was going to wonder, because in the intervening time, I have gained another level of Artificer.
Yeah.
Which has given me access to infusion. So I wonder if it's like the first couple of days, like she'll sit very patiently and just sort of nod along, all right, and take notes on everything. And then we'll start to sort of occasionally be like, and what does this one do? Like stuff that Agatha is not touching, and just like prodding at the edges, and like, and then if I wanted to do this, how might I do this? But then we sort of see by the end of the week, she's managed to sort of persuade Agatha to teach her enough that she's one, managed to make a bag of holding, and two, I think the other particular one that we see is she's got her pocket watch that we've discussed, like the pocket watch and a chain, and she's placed it on the surface, and there's lots of just little screws and nuts and little scraps of metal, all sort of brassy and silvery, like iron and brass kind of mixed together, and steel. And there's been a little bit of blowtorching, and then a little bit of magical infusion. She's got her mage hand is holding a little blowtorch, like a cake blowtorch for like little mini one, while she's also magically infusing stuff. and then we see sort of her hands pull away, and the pocket watch kind of goes and it starts flying, and it's like a little bird.
That's cool.
She's
Now,
made a little homunculus.
I'm going to stick to what I said. Agnes does not teach you anything during this week. What she does is she throws things at you and a book and says, deconstruct it and reconstruct it. Yours. Deconstruct, reconstruct yourself. That's how you learn. If you're looking to make one of those things similar to that watch I gave your friend, be careful because you might rip a hole in space and time.
Fun.
Have fun.
Love a puzzle. Okay. And yeah. And she'll-
Well, if you're the sort of person that sort of like verbally says what you're doing, she like during the time she's like, yeah, that's right, yeah, oh, very good. No, don't do that. Yeah, no, carry on. Yeah.
I'm going to just roll. Okay. Yeah, 13. I think it doesn't happen straight away, but I think as she gets more comfortable with Agatha throughout the week, she starts off, because she's like sort of absorbing stuff at the start. She's been very good at sort of not interacting with the menagerie. And then as she's got more comfortable later on, and has started pulling stuff apart and figuring this stuff out, she will be talking out loud, but she's talking to the menagerie. Oh, yes, no, I know that one doesn't go there, but bear with me. I think if we... Oh, no, great idea. Yes, let's just try... And manages to, like, pull stuff apart. Oh, we did it! I did it.
She takes it that you're talking to her.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, exactly. Did I say that? Exactly, yeah.
Yes, you did. When she's not doing these two things, which take up a good majority of the day, I think. I think every morning she will have gone to visit Lilla, who Lilla was unconscious this entire week, right?
Yes, she's been in a coma the entire week.
So every morning would have gone to visit Lilla and do the healing magic that we agreed that Hera and Elodie would do. But we'll also sit with her a little bit and read her a story from the book of fairy tales that Elodie carries around. So I don't know if anyone else will stick around for that, but she will tell a story of Sisalarimus the Bold and Perceptia the Wise Owl and some other characters as well that may be familiar. And then in the evenings, after dinner, she will go and sit with Perry, who I believe is on her vision quest and is also unconscious this entire week.
Everyone's unconscious.
I was unconscious.
So we'll kind of do the same, but be a bit more subconscious about it, self-conscious about it, sorry, and be like, I don't want to disturb you and distract you or anything, but I'm just going to sit here and tell you what I've been up to, and hopefully that's okay. Just to let you know I'm here. And would sort of journal out loud, but keep an eye on Perry and hang out with Perry while Perry is unconscious.
Perry, the location that you find Perry in, which is to be determined.
Okay. I assumed that they might be in our room, but maybe not.
I would assume as well, but I haven't done I'm going to cut this bit out, but we've not done the one-on-one yet, so I'm not sure where Evie wants to be. But,
on the roof.
On the roof. Yeah. But when you do go check on Perry, very much in a sort of meditation position, their eyes are wide open, but they're completely white. The book, the journal, is floating in front of them, and it is consistently flicking through the pages, and all of the writing, every single piece of writing in the book that is Perry's, not Solomon's, but just Perry's, is purple as it's flashing through, and it's giving off aethery vibes, and there's almost like wisps of aether or wisps of this purple energy pulling off and sort of pooling into these tattoos that are forming on Perry's body that you'd never seen these tattoos. You'd seen, I think we described at one point that she'd had light type tattoos pop up when she raged, but they're now filled with this purple energy, and you can see that it's sort of creaking up her face like veins and beginning to pull into their eyes.
Does it look good?
It doesn't look good, no, but you know that this is part of what she needs to go through in order to
Okay, fine.
in order to gain her memories back, or gain their memories back.
We'll probably also keep a written log of what's going on as well. And presumably Perry is still unconscious by the time that we have to go?
By the time that you have to go, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much last minute Perry will wake up.
So Perry will have a stack of notes from Elodie, meticulously writing out, this is what has been happening to you physically here, for your reference, just so you know.
Yeah.
And she also would have left a letter with Lucian on what to watch out for. This is all normal behaviour. And then also, I think, knowing that she's leaving Perry behind with Lucian and Udric, would have left a little note on, like, habits and things that, like, food that Perry likes and ways to look after, as if a pet. Like, here's how to look after a Perry.
Make sure she eats her vegetables.
I'm going to clip that whole bit and send it to Evie.
So that's been left. Yeah. So she's left notes for Perry and then a note for Lucian on how to look after a Perry.
Oh.
Not that she really knows Perry.
Yeah, not that she knows perfectly how to look after Perry, but just anything that she's picked up in the last week or so.
Awesome. Okay. Is there anything else that you do?
I think just in response to what Thomas said about Brahm asking, like, oh, if you had the option to run away, would you? You would have been met with a, do you think I should?
Well, no, not. I mean, we're technically running away, but.
Well, that's what I'm holding on to. I was hoping that a week is not staying here too long in the meantime. I'm trying to stay as hidden as I can in the meantime.
No, it's fair. It's a confusion. It's like a obfuscation thing. I think you're fine. But...
Are you thinking of running away?
I'm gonna make an insight because I do trust Elodie. Not sort of like, ooh, it's him being like, am I gonna tell him my deep dark? 9. A bit. I just think I don't want to upset what's going on in this place.
I think we already have.
Well, quite. Despite what I might be showing, I'm more of a flighter than a fighter. I have a nasty habit of, like, upping sticks when things get hard. And things are hard here, and...
Is that why Greta slapped you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Actually, no, yeah, I think he's going to do it, yeah. The little orcish boy, the one with it. That's my boy. That's the boy I didn't know.
Oh, really? Oh, goodness.
Okay, so when did you know?
Is your passive insight high enough?
No, I rolled. No, because Hera flat out pointed it out to Elodie.
Yeah. No, I meant is Bram's passive insight high enough to pick up on that?
I stacked that performance roll.
Also, yeah, he's got. Let's have a look at what his insight is. It's not. 16. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, Bram, you know, he picks up things. Right, so when exactly? What gave it away? Was it the fact that he looks exactly like me? That he was also
and he's wearing a hat in the same way?
Yeah, no, that's my dead father's hat. So.
Oh, well, that's family tradition. That's nice.
I hope it hasn't looked too hard because there's like a little pouch full of tobacco in there. So hopefully the kid hasn't gone into that yet. But
he seems sweet.
He's learning music like I did, and he seems great. And Sunny seems to love him, and so that's a good sign. But
you'll get a chance.
I don't.
When we get back, we deal with the Reavers, and then things will be safe. You'll get a chance to connect with him, I'm sure.
Would you, if it was you, would you, if you never met your father, would you want to know? Sorry, that's me poking in. It's
No,
easy to go.
no,
isn't it? Yeah.
It depends on what I'd heard, I suppose.
She's not told him anything about me. I don't.
Then probably he's very curious.
I don't know if I'm a good influence, though. I don't. He seems smart and kind, and I'm just. I try to be, and I don't. It's not fair on her that she. I didn't know he existed, and I took too long, and I've lost. You know, you can't get those.
That doesn't
back.
sound like it's your fault, though. If you died, and you didn't know he existed. I mean, presumably you knew that there might have been a chance that he existed.
I'd forgotten that I'd been here, and so, like, when I saw her, like, lots of other memories came back, and I was like, oh, and it kind of made me think that some of the other things
that you'd.
some of the other things I might have done over the last 5 years, I might not have done if I'd known there was someone here.
Oh, I see. But again, that doesn't sound like your fault.
Well, no, I suppose not. Yeah, no, I'm giving her some time, and I left him a letter. I would wanted a letter, but
That sounds like a good start.
yeah.
And from what I have seen in the short period of time that I know you, is someone who is very kind and is very well-meaning and wants to do the right thing and wants to stand up to the wrong-uns. And that's something that I have to turn into someone else to be brave enough to do.
No, I've seen you. You're brave as you are.
Not really. No, that's why I have Solarimus.
No. Elodie's plenty brave. Look, you might not believe me, so you're not running off. I'm not running off. We're going to go meet pirates. I'm not quite sure where we're going, but
Do you think that's? I thought we were just going to a lovely island where there might be herbs. You think there's going to be pirates?
I think as I'm getting up and I sort of like gently like. I think if it's okay, is like pat you on the shoulder, like for touch. I'm like, you need to look up Marlais Rest. There are stories.
I'll add another list to my book list. Scurries off to the library.
That is a book that Solomon very readily gives you. It's a book called Marlais' Journey, and the book looks like it's been read many times by Solomon.
Who's the author?
Damn it! Why did you have to ask me that, Tom?
It's an important question,
It's
Josh.
an important question.
It is a very important question, one that I hadn't thought of. So
Yeah, because
Mozart. There we go.
no,
Again?
no. Mozart's a painter. Not
Illustration by Mozart. There we go.
yeah, you go. Illustration by because
Mozart did the illustrations, and it was written. It's actually got a name that you don't recognise on it, and it is A.J. Styles. No, hang on, because I'm trying to think of how. A.J. Shallot.
Interesting.
Charlotte?
Shallot. Shallot.
Like the onion.
Yeah, the little onion boy. Or girl. As all three of us are like,
What does this mean?
I don't remember that child. To be fair, though, Josh refused to name them all, so...
yeah.
And I
So
still
it could-
refuse to name them all now.
Is it wrong for children, Josh?
No.
Okay, so someone else has been reading about Marlais. Nat, why don't you read the end and completely doom another crew?
And they all survived, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. Oh.
and nothing
go.
bad ever happened to them again.
Never, ever, ever. And Solomon will say to Elodie that he has put a request in for the 2 books that he doesn't have access to at the Great Library, and by the time you get back, he should have had an answer back as to whether you can access those books or not.
Thank you.
Moving on, unless there was anything else. No? Awesome. Moving on, we are going to come to Hera. Now, Hera, what did you get up to during the first part of your week? We'll go over that, and then I'll do the recap of what happened in your one-on-one.
Yeah. So for the first part, Hera's everywhere. Hera is at the docks of the ship that they're planning on taking out. She's vetting what small crew they might be taking with them, because none of those 3 are really like you. Anyone
Don't
who's
do boats.
Anyone who's more experienced at sailing knows you need at least one other good sailor to do it, and that is not.
Actually, that's fine. Brahm does boats, but
Yes, and I'm saying, as in real life,
Yeah.
as a person who has done sailing, you need a second person who is very competent at taking the orders.
Well, I'll quickly go over that now before we carry on with everything else, just so you have that. The boat comes in on the second to last day before you travel in, because it had to travel down from Marlais Rest. It tried to go. It was the Golden Maiden that had originally dropped Brahm off. It was making its way back to Grimport, was making a delivery to Marlais Rest, found that they were in trouble, and has turned around and come back. So the captain of the Golden Maiden, is called Artelago Dawson. He's the captain. He's a human with long black hair that's tied into a ponytail. Very sort of, he's got one of those sort of hats on that's got the curved up bit with the feather in. Wears like a very sort of regal captaincy sort of jacket sort of thing. Looks very sort of pirate meets admiral type look. His first mate is called Cora Wintersong. She's a human female, and she's the first mate. Said that already. The quartermaster is called Beho, and he is a male mammoth folk. So he's a large, mammoth-looking person. Then you've got Amberline Elros, who is the sailing master. She's a female sea elf. You've got Kenji, who is the surgeon, a male human. No surname. You've got Denna Delmat, who is the gunner, female dwarf. Of the mountain variety. No, of the clockwork variety. So she looks more like a halfling. No, more like a gnome, sorry. She's quite short. Then you've got Sweeper or Sweep, who is the powder monkey and is a small dragonkin, red-scaled dragonkin that uses they-them pronouns. And then you've got Zagan Rainwalker, who's the boat swain and is a male graze.
Fantastic. Send that to me, because I stopped.
please put it in the
please
chat.
send it for
I
us.
got about half of those.
Yeah.
I stopped.
I'll put them all in there.
No bosun, the most important job on the ship.
But yeah, if they're not there at the beginning of the week, then she's probably discussing this with the sparrows and thinking about just knowing who these people are, and also talking about logistics and supplies and all of those details. One thing that she also then wants to do is to try and find Brahm early on, just in case he missed that his mom was down here.
Fair enough. Where do you want to catch me? Do you just want to catch me when I'm cooking, or?
Where are you catchable and less dangerous and flighty?
Interesting question. I think you catch me like I'm looking up at the wizard's tower, just being like, "Oh, that's annoying." And then I think I'm like, "That's annoying," and I turn around and you're just there. Oh,
They've not been open for a while.
no.
Checked.
No, are you? So Ingrid put a hole in my shield and was like, "You can put orbs in here," and then was like, "No one knows how to make orbs," so I was kind of hoping to talk to them.
We'll find you one then.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
They're findable.
Yeah, there must be some out there with the pirates. So, I think we need to have a talk, me and you. The woman you beat in the arena.
Your mother.
Yeah,
War,
yeah,
she says.
yeah. That's what she's going under, and she's wearing the armor. And so some of the stuff that we talked about previously seems to have happened. That she has taken on the mantle. What do you... I don't want to kill her, and I don't want you to kill her, but I don't want her hurting people.
I'll do my best. War commands a lot of authority and power, but if she has refrained from doing it upon us yet, also she wouldn't have been in war for very long.
No.
So settling in.
How did you walk away?
How did I what?
How did you walk away from your responsibilities? Is it... From what I hear, it gets in... Is there redemption? Have I lost her?
Hope so. I don't know if I found it yet. I don't know what the beginning was, but I know that I have always tried to find rather than brute force, I've always tried to find a decision like a knife, the one that is quickest and cleanest. I challenged Manic to single combat, the fate of his people who would be safe within my care in exchange for his life if I won. But then I couldn't kill him. I failed in something stopped me. And so my brother came to finish the job. And the town burned. His own soldiers slaughtered. My people I had already sent into the wind. But I don't know where it began. I don't know if it's replicable. Death is change in the way that some of the others aren't quite. But if it's possible, I will find it.
Manic was a good man. I only knew him when I was small, but
Yes.
Responsibilities, right?
Responsibilities. I still need to... Tally's mother is still up there. Didn't die. I have to come back from this mission, and
No.
she gave her life to rescue us. I need to go do it again for her.
Yeah, no, she's also good people.
And I do apologize, but if your mother, as she is, stands in the way between me bringing Tally's mother back to her, I will do my best. And I will do my best to make sure that your mother comes to you. It's been done, but I don't know how easy it would be and how easy she would make it.
I have to hope, but hope's a dangerous thing. But yeah, no. I mean, you beat her once. I'm sure she was holding back, but it could be done again. And you've got to You got to fight for the ones you love, right?
Yeah. If you don't fight, what's the point? And sometimes the fighting isn't now. Sometimes you have to regroup. Save yourself so that you can fight. But the point is the fight.
No, you're right. Thanks, Hera. That's I appreciate. I'm glad we've had this conversation.
Good.
Yeah.
Now I need you to come look at maps with me.
Yeah. No. Sure. I mean, I've got an idea. What do you need?
And just taking it back and just going. So here are all the places you've been traveling. Tell me everywhere that's going on.
Yeah, because he's got the Wanderer background, so he's able to describe this, and also go. So, pirates. It's like a haven. It's I mean, technically they're all still under, well, what would be the crown, but it's sort of like they don't ask questions from what I've heard. You know, they accept ships of all colours as long as you don't cause trouble. Bit of free trade. No, it's a good. From what I've heard, it's a good place, and now also abundant for herbs. So that's nice.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you. Anyway, I will find allergies as I go.
Yeah. I just keep. I think as you go, I'm still like looking at maps, going. I don't get a chance to actually properly look at maps. I'm used to it like from my own point of view, but I'm like, oh, so that's what that place is called.
Yeah.
That guy called it ship pile, but that's not what it's called.
Yeah, this version of the map has got Grimport spelt with an E, and this version's got it spelt without an E. There's a large treehouse on this
Where did
version.
that treehouse go?
Why didn't I get to see the world's largest treehouse? Oh, Brahm, you fool! You flat-footed fool!
I think one of the other things then at the beginning, she's gone and checked in with various people and Lucian and Udric about just what they're doing. But then also one of the regular healing musicians goes, I think she does come and sit in for them. She likes to bring Sunny in to listen to the stories.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you would have heard the stories specifically mentioning Celeramus, Perceptia, not Aravis, Celeramus, Perceptia, Ember, and Alorim.
And how many of those have we've met Celeramus and Ember?
You've very, very briefly met Alorim when Elodie spoke French for a second. When she got drunk and spoke French.
Character choices.
love it.
But I think she's spoken about Perceptia, but has not. You've not met her.
That's fine. It's not going to inquire too much into these people. If it doesn't feel like the right vibe, and also the storytelling is very well done, and she wants Sunny to listen to it.
I agree. Very well done. I like it.
Good girl. So sit with Lilith for a second. I just want to talk to Angie outside.
Okay. But you want me to go outside, or are you going outside?
We'll go outside in the hall. You go sit.
Okay.
Hold her hand.
Hi, you're asleep. Can you hear me? Hello.
Tell her one of your stories.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll tell her one of my stories. So there was this one time where a friend of mine gave me this large ham, and then the door shuts.
I have empathy or business. You don't react well to my empathy, but I thought I'd offer.
Is that an either or one
Business-
first and then the other?
Business is happening anyway.
Oh, whatever you think.
You're a very treasured member of this party, and you're prized for your kindness and your intelligence both.
Okay.
Good. So,
There's like a little wobble of tears around the edges of her eyes. Like, I don't know how to compute this.
I also wanted to ask you what you know about the place that we are going to. I assume that you will have done research. You're very good at it.
Thank you. It's on my book list. Actually, yes. Some lovely stories. I'm assuming that the Brahm conversation happened first, and so I actually have got the Marlais Rest book.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
You've got the book and you read that within probably a couple of hours because you're a bit of
Yeah.
a speed weeder? Speed weeder.
Great gardener as well.
Speed reader. There we go. Don't know where my R's went then. Yes, you're a bit of a speed reader, and you got through that within a couple of hours, and you know that Marlais Rest is home to the Lighthouse Keepers, or the Lighthouse family, as they like to be known. There is a goat farm there as well, and a small settlement of people live there. They do trade with ships that come and go. As you say, they've got a lot of herbs and things that grow on Marlais Rest. An abundance of dragon thorn grows there.
Yep, we knew that.
And also there are rumours, nothing confirmed, but there are rumours of a large structure in the nearby mountains, and the sounds of metal banging on metal can be heard from there in the evening, like in the evenings.
And this bit particularly fascinates me because this sounds like I don't know, like a dwarven factory or something, or someone crafting something. And also the prevalence of dragon thorn suggests that a dragon is either died there or is sleeping there. There could be a dragon there.
Here is face when you suddenly look at it. It's the faintest smile of affection.
So I don't know. It could be a lovely place, or it could be terrifying and filled with awful horrors.
Well, we'll hope for the first, and I believe that as a team we are very well equipped for the second.
Taking down a dragon. You, me, and Brahm.
I was going to say getting what we need under the dragon's nose and leaving quickly.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I suppose it would be quite useful to know if we could take down a dragon, though, just in case Perry transforms again.
I'm not sure I don't... As I am now, I do not think I could take down a dragon without...
No, me neither.
I'm going to need Evie to roll a perception check during her one-on-one.
All of this taking place over Perry's meditating.
We just see one of the eyes flick open. And...
This is in the corridor outside Lilla's room.
I know, I'm teasing.
If it meant keeping you and Brahm safe to get you back home, I assure you that I would do my best to take down a dragon.
But what if you need to come home? For Sunny?
I would also try myself. But I know that you guys would also be there for her.
We would. How do you feel about the whole being on a watch list situation?
Angry, mostly. I don't think there has been a time in my life when I have not been on one. I have always been at the forefront of my education. I was accepted into service very young, and I became very good at what I was trying to do. I became a horseman very young, and I'm very good at what I do.
How young is very young?
I was 16.
Gosh.
14 when I was forced to graduate.
14? The years of education you missed out on.
I am very good at what I do.
You are.
I'm trying to be good at other things. This, I would like to say for the audience, this is after the conversation with Tally.
Oh yeah. So it's sort of this is sort of slotting into the one-on-one. Yeah.
Slotting in this thing. So I am treating people. The only most of the experience I have is in giving orders to some subordinates and being responsible for their care, but in a way that they would not know. Or the mass slaughter of other people. So I am trying. If you have any concerns or things that you are worried about or things that you are ashamed of, I can tell you that I cannot afford to judge other people. So if you need to talk to someone about anything, and someone who is guaranteed to very much understand.
Ember is a creature of rage. Not because that's how she always was, but because of the terrible things that happened to her in her life. And so the story goes, the one you just heard me telling Sunny, she can find peace when given space to. And she has, but when times are tough, it's the experiences that she had that allow her to bring her inner strength from rage. Rage is not always a bad thing. I think I'm still working on that one. It doesn't sit well on me, but Ember is as much a beloved member of my team as the others who find it easier to smile. And the same is true of you.
Thank you. And I look forward to knowing you better.
Me too. Have you ever sailed on a ship before?
Yes.
What's it like?
Wavy.
How do you deal with that?
I mostly go and yell at other people about what they're doing wrong.
I can't tell anyone what they're doing wrong. I don't know.
Oh, neither do I. You just yell at people and they do what they're doing better.
Oh. I don't think I should try that.
No, I think... Please remember, I had a very specific position of power and none of them would dare tell me I was wrong.
Noted. I'll just stay out of the way.
Find a corner and be yourself. You are kind, you are helpful, and you pick up knowledge extremely quickly. Not just for yourself, but for others, but you are a boon to the world. I'm leaving now.
Okay, yes, that seems good. Elodie had sort of lifted half an just the slightest movement of is this where we hug now? No, you're going. No, good. That's probably for the best. Yeah.
I think that's the point, Talia, where your one-on-one comes into play. And as you described before, you had a conversation with Tally just before the conversation with Elodie. Please go watch the one-on-one on our YouTube if you'd like to get caught up with that. The conversation basically went along the lines of Tally reassuring you that you are a good parent and that Sunny will be safe here, because you were having doubts about whether to take Sunny with you or leave Sunny here. And Tally basically said to you that she's like a daughter to her. She'd look after her. There's plenty of other people here, other members of the Sparrows and stuff, who would look out for her as well as the people up in the church. So you were happy with kind of contemplating that answer at that point. You then had this conversation just now with Elodie, and then you went into your room, where the pull of a certain medallion in your pocket caused you to take it out and touch it. Great.
Marvelous.
Yeah. There was then a brief wave of something that came over you, and you woke up in your room, but the inn was on fire. And you weren't Hera. You were Vesenia, the harbinger of death. And you began cutting your way through the citizens of Merkstead. Brahm, Lucian, Udric, and Tally had already been killed by the Imperium. And you had basically a 1-on-3 fight with Elodie, Perry, and Lilla, killing Perry and Lilla quite quickly. Hera managed to break through and try to save Elodie's life. You told Elodie to run, and she did. The entire time, your brother Mortigan, who had also been pulled into this dream state, was watching and tried to finger of death Elodie, but you managed to hit him in his private parts and cause the beam to just disintegrate her arm, and she managed to get away. We then went through, so that was traumatic enough. We then went through, Mortigan basically teased you that you don't know your past, and we ended up in the city of Catanok, which is the capital of the Imperium, pretty much the only location in the Imperium. And we met a very young Vez. I think we said you were about 10 years old at this point.
10, like right on that border.
Yes, right on that sort of border. And you were a bit of a thief, going around the markets collecting food for the homeless people in the slums district of the Imperium. And we met your father, who was very sickly. He'd been a worker in the mines and had sort of inhaled too many gases and stuff and become very ill. And you were sent on a mission by one of the priests of balance, who had come to collect your father's soul. You were asked to go collect some herbs to heal him. You did that, came back. However, your father had died and his soul had been collected for the eternal service of the Emperor. At that point, you had met Orus, who was one of the guards who was protecting the slums area, and he took you in and basically trained you up and put you through military training and things. You graduated at the age of 14, became a horseman at the age of 16, and went through the horseman transformation process, which was yourself, Feldra, who was a longtime friend of yours, Mortigan, and Orus. You all became horsemen at the same time. Horsemen are only ever summoned when the Imperium was due to go to war, and they hadn't been summoned, I believe it was 40 years prior when the last horseman served. You were all put into these, strapped into these chairs and put into these tanks, and the tanks filled with purple gas. You were mutated and infused with aether. We watched as your fingers elongated, wings sprouted out of your back, your tail elongated and then fell off, and your eyes, which were a very crystal blue color, became purple, which is why your eyes are purple and nobody else's. We then went through a bit of a process where you had a bit of a conflict of personalities between the Harbinger, Hera, and Vez, with Mortigan trying to convince you to accept your power and become the Harbinger again, rejoin him. But you fought against him using the medallion to basically fight within this void space. It wasn't until an intervening Lightbringer, the Guardian, Ethia, saw him off and basically told you that you've grown to accept who you are. And you are her champion. So, Vez, can you please explain to everybody what you now look like?
So for Vesenia, there's no point hiding anymore. Might as well go back to the name that her parents gave her. There are some major changes. There's one more that I'm going to add, like, right as I see people again. But the major changes are, again, her eyes now are tritoned. They still have the purple ether on the very edges of the outside, but closer to the pupil, it's gone back to that original kind of soft pale blue. And then surrounded kind of in between, then muting into a kind of like a thin band of gentle pink as the kind of two colours blur into each other. Her horns aren't quite as they were when she was young, but kind of like an in-between state. So still large and curved, but enough around the back of her head to kind of place. And her tail is back and at full adult size.
Oh.
Yeah. There have been a couple of other just small shifts to the structures, but very, very minor. But those are like the three major ones. There's one more, but it's part of my storytelling. It is nothing to do with the magic in this. It is all to do with Sunny. And
you also now wear quite proudly a brand new medallion around your neck, which is not star-shaped like the Harbinger ones. It's octagon-shaped with pentagon shaped. Sorry, thank you. With a unicorn symbol on the front of it, which is the symbol for the Lightbringer.
Yeah. So the rest of this week, Vesenia, note. Character change and name change on sheet below. There we go. Isn't really findable much. She's got a couple of key things that she wants to do. The first one is to go find Greta, probably got in the evening, and go talk to her about the spy network. Now that there's no point in hiding, she's got an incredible amount of guilt about her loyal soldiers that she sent into the wind. She saved their lives from the immediate danger, but doesn't know where they've ended up, and some of her captains would have followed her into the dark. So she just wants to know where they are. They were good people who tried to do good alongside when she was getting slightly more separated from her brother's views.
As the spy master of the Sparrows, Greta does get that Greta does get that note out to the scouts that are sort of dotted around the country and things, or will get that stuff out to people to look out, and you give a description and she sends all that information out to try and get that back for you. But it's going to take a little bit of time.
Second thing is she picks up her weapons now from the blacksmiths. She tells Tally everything. And then she sits down and does talk to Sunny about, Sunny staying behind. Here is, Vess is coming back for her. Also, I had a magic incident and this is what I look like at the moment.
Wow, you look really, I love your hair. It looks really nice. Your eyes look really cool. Can I do that?
It was a lot of raw power and a very traumatic experience, so...
What does that mean?
It was painful in both body and my heart.
Then I don't want to do that.
Don't do that.
No.
We will get you we can dye your... And so this comes to the last change then. Is hair dye experiments with her. So she's dyeing Sonny's hair, a couple of streaks in there. Sonny's put a couple of streaks in versus, and also a very bad 6-year-old haircut on Vess. So her hair's now bobbed from that, that beautiful long one from the original one? Yeah, there's a reason why it's short now.
Great. Love that.
It looks really pretty.
Thank you, darling. Okay, so I'll be coming back as soon as possible, but we need to go now so that you can see me off at the docks, because we need to leave.
Okay, Tally, you coming as well? Yes, I'm coming, and Tally also got
Tally's
roped.
right there. Tally couldn't cut your hair.
Oh no, Tally fixed it.
Tally fixed it, and she also got involved with the hair colour dye, and she now has one bit braided that sort of falls down here, and it is purple and orange, so symbolising both you, and purple, orange, and red, symbolising you, Sunny, and Lilla.
Cute.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that's a good point for us to everybody to meet
Just very
up.
quickly, I forgot to talk about upgrading Elodie's gun. We don't really need to roleplay through it, but she got an upgrade to the gun.
Yes, you did get an upgrade to the gun. Yes, in fact, actually, we'll quickly go over. We know what Bram's got. Bram's now got holes in his weapons. So what upgrades?
Bram.
Probably why I died so quickly in that alternate future. Because someone just punched it and I was like, well, that's broken.
I'm sorry that I'm a badass.
Oh yeah, I should have said as well that everybody else who was already dead had been cut in half by a scythe, and Vesania's
Oh, it's
weapon.
Perry.
Harry.
Vesania's weapon was a scythe that was 3 times larger than Hera's. That's Perry, sorry.
Oh,
wow.
come on. Wow. That's
Size
already
comparisons
Size
now.
comparison
Yeah.
and all that. Anyway, we know what Brahm had upgraded with his weapons. What did Elodie and Hera get done to their weapons or
I think
armor?
we got the same, didn't we? We had an upgrade to weapons that allows us to add proficiency bonus to our damage. Or I did, at least.
I have a couple more with that.
How much money do you have?
I spent most of my money.
I only had enough money to do one thing.
Yeah.
I
got paid for
I
the
was
previous
in
one.
this city for a long time compared to you. I think money.
Also, you did sort of sass Ingrid and tease her a bit, and she was like, I can make anything. And then you sort of challenged her on that, and she was like, shit. So she did.
See,
We
Elodie,
You don't
if
have to
you're
go
rude-
over what your weapon does just yet. I think it'll be cool to reveal it.
I have a special weapon with that, and also, my connection as champion to the Lightbringer now just gives me a little bit of an extra boost.
I've got a magical fox. I've just...
And a
Nat,
hole
we
in your shield.
Nat, we could get you magical eyes as well if you're feeling a bit left out.
So as part of the homebrew rules, I've said this plenty of times before, but +1, +2, +3 weapons aren't magical in this world. What they do allow is that obviously the +1 to hit and the +1 to damage, but they also unlock an enhancement slot for your weapons. At this current level that the players are, they can have one of 2 options. One is, as Nat said, you can add your proficiency bonus to your damage rolls. And the other one is you can have an orb slot placed into the weapon where you can stick magical orbs in that will allow your weapons to become magical for a brief amount of time. For anybody, it's basically like materia from Final Fantasy VII, that sort of thing. There are other things that we unlocked as the characters level up, and they can also choose to upgrade their weapons to +2s, cost a lot of gold though, or upgrade other weapons they have to +1s for a moderate amount of gold. And also weapons go up to +5 in this world, not +3. But yeah.
Converge on the ship with the crew here, all of our supplies and our new weapons, and our loved ones waving goodbye to us.
Just gloss over the fact that Vesenia has changed. It's fine.
You had a haircut.
There is a hood on the stage going on.
Elodie has a little brass bird on her shoulder now.
Brahm remains constantly himself. Must be nice to have people wave you off from the dock. So looking like...
You do look down, Bram,
Yeah.
and you do notice, not quite on the dock, but sort of on the concrete, the pavement that leads up towards the Rusty Pirate and towards where the mercenary company is, you can see, not waving at you, but stood there, is both Greta and Oro.
polite nod. And just-
Elodie will wave because Elodie had good chats with Oro in the queue at the fighting pits.
Yeah, Oro will wave back. And Sunny waves towards
I'm
towards
going
all
to
of you.
grab Brahm's arm and wave it as well.
Or ragdolls.
Yep.
Ow, I just hit my hand. But yeah. I think, actually, with that, as you now begin to set sail on the Golden Maiden, setting off towards Marlais Rest, that is a good time for us to take a quick break. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us and sticking with us. We will be back in about 5 or 10 minutes while we take a short rest. We will see you in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. We have had our short rest and we are going to dive straight into the next half of tonight's session. In the first half, our group went over what each of them got up to individually during their 7-day downtime before they all headed off on the Golden Maiden towards Marlais Rest. Now, one thing that I didn't quite go over beforehand, because I wanted to wrap up for break, is what you're actually doing going to Marlais Rest. So you know that there is something known as a cipher there that you need to go pick up, which will help you in deciphering some of the texts in the older language that Solomon has that are both his and belong to Perry as well. You've also going up there because you know that there is an abundance of dragonthorn there, which can be used to make a herbal remedy to heal the scar, or at least the magical part of the scar on Elodie's hand. And there's another reason that you don't know of yet, so I'm not going to tell you.
I have just realised, looking back through my notes, that obviously the book sort of hinted at some strange clanging noises in the mountains. Solomon did flat on tell me there was a forge in the mountains, and we needed an item from there. Is the item the cipher?
Possibly. The item that you need is the cipher, yes.
From the forge?
From the forge, yes.
We pick Solomon up and go, just give us answers.
A straight answer, man!
Solomon knows. The book is what hinted towards it. So the book doesn't know, but Solomon does know, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Another thing that I didn't mention is that you are not alone on this ship. Yes, you are joined by the entire crew, but also the blacksmith of Merkstead, Ingrid, has come with you.
Ah, handy.
Yeah, no, I've been told there's some good things at the forge and might be some materials and stuff that I can sort of pinch and bring back and work on improving and stuff. And, you know, I don't get much of a chance to get out of the town, and getting the opportunity to speak to another forge master would be, I think really beneficial for my learning. So I'm coming with. Is basically what she says as she climbs onto the ship.
Lovely. That's a good point. If I'd mentioned to Agatha that I was going to be going away for a week on a mission where there might be... how much does Elodie actually tell her?
There's also Agnes.
It's Agnes.
Agnes, not Agatha. Sorry. I
Agatha's
blame
the one
Disney.
who's missing.
Yeah, blame Disney. Such a good series. Blame
I actually
Disney.
rolled a 4 on that wisdom check. So, so we're going to a place called Marlais Rest where there might be a mystery forge. Would Agnes bring up anything? No, would Agatha? Oh my god, I flicked
It's
to the wrong
Agnes.
page.
Agnes.
It is Agnes. Why have I got?
Agatha's the missing granddaughter. Yeah.
And Agnes was supposed to move to Ostrogos for magic item reasons, but never did.
Yeah. But Agatha and the rest of the family did.
Yeah, fine.
That's all right. I can understand where the confusion is there. A's.
Yeah. So would she have been like, "Oh, go get this for me," or anything like that? Would
If
she
you
have
can
no
bring me
interest?
back anything sparkly, I might be able to
Great.
use it.
Sure.
It's not really much of a blacksmith herself, but anything sparkly and tinkery, she'll probably take.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Right. So you have set sail and you are making your way up the shallows towards Grimport and towards Marlais Rest. Now, for those of you who have access to the map, which put !map in maps in chat now for you to view it, I know the Marlais Rest is quite close to the main continent of Idorune. That's not quite to scale. So it's not like you can stand on the shore, on the eastern shore, and then see the island sort of thing. There is a bit of a distance between them, and the Golden Maiden does have to sail sort of off path a little bit to be able to get there to drop supplies off, which is why they didn't have issues with the Drowners or with dropping supplies off when Brahm came down, and why Brahm doesn't know anything about Marlais Rest.
Well, we did have a little problem with the Drowners, and I know
You
a
did,
little
but
bit
not as
about
bad
Marlais
as what they've
Rest.
been
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
has happened.
Yeah.
So you would have seen like the cusp of Marlais Rest on the horizon sort of thing, but you never got close enough to it.
I've never been there. I know stories, but I've never been.
Yeah. So on the way that we're going to do this is we have got 7 nights of you traveling up to Marlais Rest. Sorry. So I would like each of you, plus myself, to roll me a d20, please, to see if there are any encounters that you come across on the way. I'm going to go in order of how you are all on my Zoom. So I'm day 1, Tom's day 2, Talia is day 3, and Nat is day 4.
Sure.
So let me know what you all rolled, please.
19.
Ooh.
Talia, day 2?
Oh, I'm second.
4? Okay.
8.
8. Okay, right. So, a number of different things happen. So, on day 1 and day 3, which was my role and Talia's role, we both rolled the exact same, you feel the waves bump you a little bit as large sea creatures are underneath the boat. And as you all sort of look over, you can see what look to be large whales that are sort of bumping into the ship, and you watch as some of the crew pull some barrels of fish out and they start throwing the fish over the sides. And these whales, they're kind of like a combination between a dolphin and an orca. They sort of swim around and grab the fish and then disappear off, and they sort of leave you alone.
I was just doing a little bad sketch of it to take you to Sunny.
Okay, yeah. For the 8, again, it's a quiet day, but it gets a bit choppy with the wind, and the ship sort of rocks, and anybody who might potentially feel a bit of motion sickness from this would probably be sick at this point. So anybody who feels that they might do can roll me a Constitution saving throw. Ingrid is definitely going to.
I preemptively rolled 1 and got a 13.
13. So you get the whole sort of, you have to swallow it back down sort of thing, but you don't vomit everywhere. Ingrid's
That's
fine.
not good for the vocal folds.
Ingrid is fine. Doesn't throw up.
Brahm having travelled also as a cook has prepared like ginger. And
Yes.
so like rations out the ginger biscuits at this point for those who are feeling queasy.
Thank you.
Oh, it's all right. You'll get your sea legs in a bit.
I mean, it's been 3 days.
Oh, it probably takes a bit longer. Just it helps if you look for the horizon. Just keep your eye on that.
The horizon is very far away. Looking at the floor is comforting.
Well, that's the problem. If you look at the floor, it moves. Just find something static. Keep your eye on that, and that should help.
Miss Elodie.
Very, very. Versus at the PAL, very static, very secure.
Yeah, and that's basically what the captain was going to say to you as well.
Yeah.
So the captain is a very friendly man, and if you go up to him and ask him any questions about anything, he's glad to answer it. And if you're feeling a bit unsure about anything, he'll either suggest for you to go below deck to where you might feel a bit safer, or sort of find a job to do to sort of help take your mind off of things.
She'll sit there like knotting ropes, but it's more like macrame than the useful knots.
We always need nets. It makes it, yeah.
Always need nets. We always need nets. Throwing them over is difficult now with drowners around, but we always find a safe spot where we can get a little bit of time to be able to throw some nets over. So thank you. That'll be helpful.
That's a good point. If we get beset upon by any, I have a little idea, something that we tried that sort of worked previously.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Right. Well, I'm going to say with the 19 that Brahm rolled on the second day, we'll say the second day goes by nice and easily just because we've gone over the days after that as well. It's the fifth day where something happens. That's where you begin to hear the noise of sort of gurgled growls and scratches on the bottom of the hull of the ship, and you look over the side and you can see drowners beginning to try and climb up. This is something very familiar to you, Brahm, as you had to sort of fight them off when they were trying to climb up the ship previously. So I will allow Elodie to do the thing that Elodie would like to do before we roll any sort of initiative as they begin climbing up.
Yeah, so advanced version of the make a rock smell like my blood. She's going to make an arrow smell like her blood instead.
Nice.
But a quiver of arrow. Well, I say a quiver. I can do it 4 times sequentially. So she'll do it and fire the arrow behind the ship to see if that attracts any of them.
It's better than our previous technique of throwing fish guts in the ocean. So, yeah.
Well, a couple of the crew members do throw like leftover bits of meat that they wouldn't eat over the side because they sort of keep it back for that sort of purpose. Okay, with that, the drowners that are in the water begin swimming off and make their way towards where you had fired the arrow. Some of them hover around the aft of the ship and begin sort of taking in the fish guts that are being dropped over the edges. However, I am going to need you to roll initiative. What has happened, though, is you have seriously dwindled the number of drowners that are on the hull of the ship.
Right. Can we say that when it looked like they were starting to climb that I could have also drunk Solarimus?
Of course.
Potion? Great.
Of course. Any preparation anybody would like to do beforehand, you're more than welcome to.
Do you have a way to make potions on the move? Or do you need a full, alchemy station?
Well, I we've not actually discussed it, but I've assumed that I can have my ingredients and any pot is a good one. A pot over a fireplace is a good one.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. It's just you'd probably feel a bit more comfortable doing it in, a kitchen or a station
Somewhere
or something.
static.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking that. I was just going, can you make on the move? You got a little travel kit. I think that's cute.
Could I have a D10 roll from Brahm, please?
Oh, heckins. I suppose you could. Whoops, that's not a D10. 6.
6. Awesome.
Is that the number of drowners?
Maybe.
Cool.
Brahm, what did you roll?
So I got a 3 minus 1, so that's 2. So I'll see you guys at the end of the initiative.
Oh, dear. Vesenia, what did you roll?
21.
Nice. Elodie, what did you roll?
19, but with Solarimus, I'm actually at 21 as well.
Ooh, okay, so which one of you has higher dex?
I'm imagining it might be me, the +6.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So, just got a couple more crew members. Oh, Ingrid, why did you have to roll that?
Stay alive, Ingrid.
The only group that I am pooling together is going to be the crew members that won't fight. So, that aren't fighters. So they will go all together. Okay, right. So before combat starts, was there anything that anybody wanted to do or would have done either just before? And we know, obviously, Elodie said about drinking the Solarimus potion, so that's fine. Was there anything else anybody else wanted to do either just before the combat started or at the beginning of the day or anything?
I've been doing my cook treats. So, little treats for the crew. Both the PCs and also let's say Ingrid now have free temp hitch point.
Thanks, Ginger Biscuits.
Yes, that retroactively, that's what it is. It's just I've been giving you biscuits, and it's like, oh, it's a treat.
They're not too sweet. They're so good.
Yes, I think that's the thing, and I also think Brahm is quite happy that he's hit something that is like something everything likes. Because if Terry was here,
You know what you should do? You should use these as the base for the cheesecake.
as I look dramatic, I say, my guardians, I've come up with a new recipe.
I've come up with a new recipe.
That's the thing. It sort of says Bram's cheesecake, and then you see like a scribble, and now it says Elodie's cheesecake. It's like a little chibi version of you going, yeah.
Cute. Yeah, well, I think just before we all do everything together, then I'm going to use my pact slot because I'm now a level of Celestial Warlock and cast, yeah, babies, champion. Cast Bless on the three of us.
Cool.
Awesome. Are you using a new using the 2024 version of Bless? Has it changed at all, or are you using the legacy one? I don't mind which one you're using.
Oh, it says Legacy on it.
That's fine. So it's just standard Bless. I think one of the only spells that I would ask for the newer version to be used would be Counterspell, because that feels less punishing to the players if I use it against them.
Remind me, bless again.
A D4 to attack rolls and saving throws.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so at the beginning of the initiative, we have Elodie or Solarimus.
All right. So, how many? So we know that there's 6 of them, but how many of them are visible at the top of the climbing up the sides of the boat?
So the ones that you can see, the 6 that are climbing up. You've got 3 climbing up the starboard side and 3 climbing up the port side.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me which one's which side, but one's climbing up one side, one's climbing up the other.
Okay, cool. She will run port, I guess. Wait, no, I was facing backwards, so I'm going to run. Yeah, port would be to the right. If you're facing port is to the left normally, but if you're facing backwards, it's to the right.
Right, yeah.
Oh, God, no, really confusing things.
Port out, starboard home.
Yeah.
She'll run to the port side, downing Solarimus, and I would like, can I please have a try? Can the leader, are they like all 3 at the same level climbing up, or is like one in front, or?
You got one that's probably 5 feet in front of the other 2 as they're climbing up.
Perfect. I would like to try blood cursing that one, so it's stuck, hopefully causing a blockage for the others. So as she runs over, grabs Exogryph, the pistol, uses the needle on the back of it to prick her thumb, and will draw a binding symbol in the air. And as she gets to the rim of the boat,
Boat rim, yeah.
the boat rim.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's a totally normal thing to say. We'll sort of look down, hold on tightly to the railing. This railing is not high enough, and kind of throw it down, trying not to look too far out to sea. Could it please make me a strength saving throw?
It can indeed. Strength 7. Oh, actually, not bad. No, not when I rolled that. It's not. It's a 2. Sorry, it's a 5.
Oh.
Great. Then its speed is reduced to 0, and it cannot take reactions. I realize I said that previous line as Elodie, not as Solarimus, but that's fine.
I'm not scared of railings.
I'm not scared of railings. It's fine. This should be bigger, though. Why are there not more railings? You stay still. And then we'll sort of hold on. You know what? Oh, he's a fucking idiot, isn't he?
Don't jump.
Sorry, that was a really deep laugh from me. Carry on.
It's a ship. Is there boat? Is there boats? Is there ropes? Are there ropes?
Oh, yes.
Swingable ropes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, great. He's done that thing as he's been running over and doing the binding, thrown it down, and then because he's Solarimus and he kind of reaches up and backwards, and a rope is just there because he knows the rope's there, and he uses it to push off and swing, sort of essentially out away from the ship, so he can get an angle to shoot at one of the ones below.
It's one of those really awkward moments where you just do that, wait for 5 seconds, one of the crew goes, throws a rope at you. And you're like, ha
This is fine. Just as I planned it. That it's going to be not great. 15 to hit.
15 will hit. Now, can you please give me a letter between A and F?
B.
There we go. So B is on the port side.
I've made it easy for you, Josh. A is the one that's trapped, B is the one that's below, and C is the one below that on the
There we
port
go.
side. Great. Okay, so we're on D10. Ooh, nice. And now because I've added all of my proficiency bonus as well, so that is going to be 21 points of damage, please, of piercing.
My lord. I will let you know right now that they have 22 hit points. So one thing we've gone over Bram's weapon, how that now looks. How does Elodie's pistol now look? Because you've had these enhancements put in on the weapon, but there's got to be some sort of visual representation to these enhancements that you've had on your weapons, all of you.
So it's doing more damage if I hit. So I think it's an upgrade to the bullets rather than the pistol. And I think the bullets are a slightly, like, they still fit the chamber. Maybe they're slightly more techie bullets. Maybe the enhancement was a mix between Ingress and Agnes together. So maybe they're I can't remember. There's a proper name for them. Maybe they're the type of bullets that hit and then explode.
Shrapnel bullets, we'll call
Sort
them.
of like shrapnel type bullets.
Yeah.
Only a little one though, so it's not like it's going to hit people that she doesn't intend to hit. But yeah, I think it's going to be the bullets that are upgraded to do more damage.
It's kind of like how how musket bullets were first designed, that when you fired them and they entered into the body, when they hit bone, they then shattered and sent shrapnel throughout the body, causing, somebody gets shot in the shoulder and they'd later do an autopsy and found that a piece ended up in the liver, sort of thing. Instead of doing it when it enters into the body, it's like as soon as it makes contact with the skin, it sort of explodes outwards.
So slightly more explosive bullets.
Yeah. And this thing is sort of, one of its arms is blown off and it's holding on and falling down slowly back into the ocean. It puts its feet into the hull and starts trying to climb up one-armed, but it's not going very well.
That's bonus action movement, so I guess gravity does its thing and I'll just be swinging back the other way.
Can you make me an acrobatics check, please?
Yeah, sure.
For that entire swinging motion.
14.
14, so you able to sort of jump off, swing around, shoot, and then land on the other side. You get a bit of a wait moment, but then you hop back down and you still got a hold of the rope.
Can it be that instead of letting go, like he does the outward swing perfectly fine, but it's sort of just feeling himself and the moment and feeling dashing and heroic on the high seas, that doesn't pay attention as he swings back. So it's just that I stack it a bit on the way back and bump into one of the masts.
Yeah.
It's fine. I meant to do that.
It's because the railings are too... They're not
The railings are too low.
Awesome. You do that. And we then move to Vesania's turn.
Cool. So, yeah. One thing I've just thought of, I don't know if Bess has told the others that she's changed her name again.
I imagine you would have, surely.
It's been 4 days.
We've been 4
5
days
at this point, yeah.
I think if we called you by
It's been an
Hera...
awkward situation and she's just been avoided. Probably. Highly likely. But, in terms of practical things right now, how far away are the drowners from the edge of Berlin?
So the ones on the port side, which is where Solarimus is fighting them, you've got the one that's been sort of frozen in place, which is about 15 feet from the top of from getting onto the ship, and the other ones are 5 feet below that, so they're 10 feet away from. No, sorry, they're 20 feet away from. I'm thinking that the boat is 30 feet up, so they're 20 feet away from the top. On the opposite side, it's the same situation. You've got one that is climbing up that is 15 feet from the top and from the deck, and the other two which are 20 feet away.
Okay. So the one at the top, it's slow, it's no reaction. So I'm just going to go and drop myself down so I'm equal to it. But then I am going to extend my blade so I can get the ones which are then 10 feet down below me.
Yeah, you can do that easily enough. You've got like a ropes and some rags wrapped around more around your waist than your feet, so you're able to use sort of pile out of the boat and sort of run around the sort of
the sheet line. They're called the sheets.
Okay.
They are the ropes that go and control the sails are called the sheet lines, and therefore the sheets.
There we go. See, somebody who knows boat terminology. That's what
good.
you use.
Ship
And
terminology, Josh.
Yeah.
We're not in a submarine, we're a ship.
even if it's a submarine, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But still, yes, you are able to. You can basically use this rope to run around this entire sort of edge of this side of this ship as if you were on normal ground.
I think, yes, so I want to go down. Like, there's one right next to me, I do not care. And then we haven't worked out if it's a bonus action or it's just something I can do. Depends on whether I do a hex or not.
You can do a hex if you want, yeah. You still got your bonus action.
But yeah, so I'm going to cast hex on the first one, and so I'm going to give it disadvantage on strength saving throws.
Yep.
I guess.
Yep, that's cool. And then you want to attack one of the. Are you attacking the one that's the furthest up, or the ones that are just below it?
The ones which are now 10 feet away from me.
Yeah. So, and you want to use the new thing, didn't you?
I want to use the new thing.
Okay. So you go to use the new thing, and as you push the button on the just underneath where the handguard is for your blade, obviously Celerimus and Brahm won't see this, but for the audience, we watch as the longsword part of Hera's blade begins to slit up the middle and begins to slag as little thin wired ropes appear between each section of the blade, and it becomes a whip, and you can fling that towards your enemies.
Fantastic. I'm going to cast Green Flame Blade with it as well,
Yes.
so that I can get the one.
What is it, Ivy and Soul Calibur that can do that?
Yep, that's where I got the idea from. Ivy and also Rhea from the Disney film with Rhea in that. I can't remember what it's called.
And Raya and the dragon.
There we go, that one, yes. That was really cool.
That is. I can read numbers. That is a dirty 20 to
Awesome.
hit.
Would you like to use your once per turn feature with the blade? It's once per turn, it's not once per rest. There's no charges on it.
Yes, I want to use my once per turn, and I'm using it in combination with Green Flame.
Yeah.
I am doing a whole bunch of cool things at the moment.
So the once per turn feature that the whip blade has is when you when you use the attack action, one of your attacks becomes two attacks basically against the same target. It's two separate attack rolls. It does have the whip's normal damage though, so it's like a D4, but
Yeah.
But like hitting it one side and then hitting it the other as it flips
yeah,
around.
so it sort of cuts them. Yeah.
Nice.
But then I get to do it. Wait, shoot. Oh, no, wait. But then I get an extra one because of the Green Flame. So that. Oh, it's. So, give me. That is proficiency. 4, 8, 13 points of damage to that first creature. 5 of that is fire damage.
Awesome. Would you like to pick a letter between D and F?
D.
D. Cool. So you did 13 points of damage to D.
Yes, it's the ones that are next to each other. Because then I would like to then have do 7 points of fire damage, then flick onto the next one, the one right next to it.
Next one next to it would be F, and you said 7, didn't you?
Yes.
Awesome. So that goes down to that, and then your second attack with your feature can go off as well, so you can make that attack against D.
Cool. That misses. That's a 4 plus. That's going to be a 12.
That's exactly what you needed. Their AC is 12.
Okay. That's the one number. So that is. Nine damage. 5 of that is fire. I've also not been doing the hexes. That's 8 points of necrotic damage on that first one.
Yep. So as your whip slashes into it the first time and then sort of wraps around part of its neck and slashes into it, the neck just falls off and the creature splashes back into the water as you kill it.
Nice.
Fantastic. And 10 more points of fire damage flick through, because based on the melee attack of the Green Flame Blade to the one next to it.
Yep, so the same one that you had hurt before. You watch as this green flame sort of engulfs it. Is it green, though, is the question. I know it's called Green Flame Blade, but it's your spell. You can flavour it however you want.
It's not green. It is, I think we've established, kind of mostly pink.
Yeah, so it's this pink fire erupts over this other drowner. Most of its scales have melted away and begin peeling off. It looks very injured, and a stiff breeze could probably kill it.
And I'm just going to kind of hang there next to this one that's next to me and just poke it.
Give it a little bit of a poke. Okay, so at the end of your turn, that makes it Captain Artelago's turn, and he's steering the ship at the moment, and he can't see any of the creatures. So what he's going to do is he's going to issue an order for his crew to go below decks. Those of you who can't fight, get below decks. And you watch as he leans down, opens up a compartment next to where the steering wheel is, and he pulls out a light crossbow, which he then places on the railing at the front, and he's going to hold his action to fire a bolt at anything that climbs over the edge that is enemy. So that's his turn. That then makes it Drowner C's turn, which is not the one that was slowed. So that begins climbing up, and that climbs up 30 feet, so it gets to the top and onto the deck. Pretty much right next to
slowed at all by the one that can't move.
It would be slowed by the one that is. Her movement would be halved, so it would sort of climb over its companion, and then, because these things aren't intelligent enough to go, I'm just going to go around you, they climbs over the top and gets to 5 feet below where it needs to get to the deck. That then makes it Drowner E's turn, and that is on the opposite side where Vesenia is. So instead of making its way up to the deck, it's beginning crawling over towards you, and it's going to lunge at you, making a claw attack. No, it's not.
In the breeze.
This is fine.
I rolled a 3, so that's a 6. So it doesn't do nothing.
God, no.
As it, I'm going to say for the fun of it that I said it lunged towards you. You just sort of use the rope and swing out of the way, and it just goes splosh into the water. So
Great.
we'll take that one out of combat.
Lovely.
It's funny.
We then move to B, which is the one that is on 1 hit point left, and it is trying its hardest to climb up, but it's just not getting anywhere at the moment. It probably gets about 5 feet up, but it just gets to where its companion is that's frozen and is struggling to get over its body. That makes it Drowner F's turn, which is the one right next to you, Vesenia, and that is also going to the one that's on fire, and it's also going to try and swing out and claw at you, but it's not jumping at you this time. Oh my god, that's a 10 to hit.
God, no.
I know I don't need to up the sort of what these creatures can do. It's just my dice rolls are shocking. As it swings, it goes to lose its clawing, but it holds in place, so it's still there. The crew follow the orders of the captain, and those who aren't able to fight begin making their way down into the deck of into the hull of the ship. Below deck is where they go. Next, we have Drowner A, which is the one that is frozen in place. Does it need to make a roll or anything before?
Just double checking. Can't take reactions. Must succeed until the end of my next turn.
Cool. So it just sort of stays there. You can see it's trying to move, but it's not able to. This blood-like hex is sort of covering it. Is it something that everyone can see, or is it just something you can see?
On the creature. I think that it's probably got a little sort of shimmering red lines kind of mapping over it. So it's sort of a little bit of Elodie's blood. Obviously she draws in the air with her blood, but it's not enough quantity of blood to actually cover this thing. It spreads out and it becomes sort of more a particle effect over the creature.
Cool. That is the end of its turn. Brahm.
Okie dokie. So none of them managed to get up onto the...
No, the ones on the side where Solarimus is were slow to the point where they couldn't get up. And you've heard a loud sploosh on the other side and one scream in agony as it's lost its head. Okay,
I'm just going to roll a d6, decide which side I run to. Okay, 3. Okay, I'm running towards Solarimus. As I get up, there's another one of those ropes that I kind of loop around my arm, so at least if I go over, at least I can hold on.
Careful, old chap, they're tricksy. They pull you back sharper than you expect.
Thank you, friend.
Hold your hand out for a really long time, and one of the crew as they're running downstairs just go, "Oh, for God's sake!" Lots of rope at you. Ha!
I was like, right, okay, thanks. as I look down, how far down are they?
So you've got one that is 5 feet down, and then you've got the one that's frozen in place that's 15 feet down.
I will start by just trying to hit the 5 foot one down with my mace.
Yep, go ahead. Make me an attack roll, please.
Does a 22 hit?
22 does hit, yes.
So we start with 6 points of bludgeoning. And now this is a feat. Can this droner please make a strength saving throw?
It can. Strength saving throw. Something it's not that bad at. I rolled a 13.
DC 14. So I'm now a shield master.
Yep.
I can knock this creature 5 feet. So as the shield just comes down and I just smack it in the hand, so it's going to move 5 feet. And I want it to go 5 feet that way, away from the ship.
Okay. It doesn't knock it prone then, just 5 feet.
It knocks 5 feet, so it's not holding onto the ship, and it's going that way into the water. It can also be prone, which I think is quite funny if it goes prone.
Oh, so you knock it 5 feet away and it ends up prone?
It's either 5 feet or knock it prone.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm knocking it away from the ship, so it can't hold onto the ship.
Oh, I get you. Right, yeah. Okay. Let me just make 2 strength saving throws quickly. One of them would be with disadvantage, so I'll have to roll separately. That one's not very good. And that's definitely not very good with disadvantage. As you move over, smack one in the face with your mace, and then pummel it with the shield.
Yeah.
It's trying to keep its claws on, and it's that whole Mufasa thing where you like that, but you just hit it with the shield, and it sort of like bullet trains down, hits into the 2 that are below it, and all of them fall into the water.
Ideal. Long live the king.
King. Yeah, I don't know why I thought of that comparison, but you know.
Leave this place and never return. I turn around to look at Solarimus and like, yeah.
You can see
Excellent
that
luck.
you can see that now that they've entered the water, their attention has shifted from trying to get onto the ship and has been drawn to the fish guts at the end of at the aft of the ship, which has been left a little bit behind now because the ship is still traveling, but also the arrow of blood as well is sort of drawing them, so they just ignore the ship and swim that way. They need to be underwater to be able to sense it.
Okay.
Arrow of blood.
Arrow of blood.
So
Is that the end?
They're not a problem at the moment.
No, they've gone.
Okay. How much movement did I... Basically, I want to take movement to start heading towards the other side of the ship.
Oh, that's easy enough. Yeah, I'd say it's like the ship is like 30 feet up and then 30 feet across sort of thing, so you can run to the other side. Easy enough. You could swing part of the way if you want.
Oh, no. my associates are there. I've watched people go over the side of ships. No.
Give it a try. It's fun.
What's my acrobatics like? Fine. I jump not off the ship. Actually, no, I jump off. No, Brahm, don't jump off the ship. You're really bad at falling. No, I don't care if the cool Robin Hood character doesn't think I'm cool. I'm being a sensible boy. Got to start a new nation. Got to meet my son. I'm going back to the other side.
It's all right. We'll have a practice later.
Thank you, sir. What Bez? What are you saying about me? I did just pop it.
Bez is like waiting for you. Like, come on, hang on. Are you coming down or what?
He does. I don't. Are you doing anything?
Am I at the other side of the ship now?
If you're using the rope, even when I need an acrobatics check off of you no matter what, because you have used the rope.
I haven't. It's round my. Oh, fine. I haven't swung. I just have it round my arm. It's an 8.
You didn't swing.
No.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right, so it's just around your arm.
I think I've taken it off now. If I'm going to the other side of the ship to try and do the same thing. If you're giving me this, I might action surge. So I think that's the thing. I pop up as only as swinging, doing that. Are you going to do anything? And I'm like, fine.
He took out the other 3 on the other side. It was quite spectacular.
I sort of look and I'm like, appreciate it. I sort of cast down. What's the battlefield looking like on the other side of the ship?
There's just one drowner left, which is right in sort of base contact with Vesenia at the minute.
I think because Vesenia says, "Are you going to do anything?" I go, cast down. Can it make a dexterity? Yes, saving throw, please.
It's not that bad. I'll take it's another 13.
It does meet it, beat it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Well, what was it you were doing?
Sacred Flame.
Okay, yeah. So this flame goes to spark up around it, and it gets that look of worry on it, because this is the one that's been ignited a couple of times. It looks at Vesenia, and then it goes out, and then it sort of looks around, and then...
I look down at Hawthorne and go, have I done something to upset you this time?
You didn't jump off the edge of the boat, did you? That would have been fun.
Next time.
Where's the reward without the risk?
I don't like going in the sea. It's bad. I know this is taking more than 6 seconds, but I'm working through some stuff.
Well, I've heard in other places that talking is a free action, so you're fine.
well, bully for me then. Anyway, I tried, and I guess I suppose I've got a bonus action. Because this is again, folks, me using my superiority dice as actually no. Have either of you? Neither of you have taken damage yet, have you? Nah.
No, because even my blood maledict, I didn't amplify, so I didn't take any damage from it.
Ah, smart. I guess I will not use my secret skills as I have an argument with my patron.
Your secret skills.
Secret skills on your side.
Yeah, just most of my stuff is actually. Hold on, just checking the one last thing. It's like, I just drink a healing potion. It's completely wasted. Bonus action.
That's 25 gold pieces. Don't drink it.
I eat it.
It's like a week's worth of rent at the inn.
True.
God, it was such a bargain, though. Actually, I tell you what, because to retroactively, because I didn't use bonus action last time, I can use a dash. I get temporary hit points. That's how I've been able to get to the other side of the ship. Okay, using my action.
Oh, using your adrenaline rush.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
I've got 3 temporary hit, because I was like, do I give myself temporary hit points? Seems a bit weird, but yes. See, so so the thing we've seen is me going, I tried. Solanras will teach me. I'm not a rope swinging guy. Anyway, that's the end of my turn. I don't know why I know what that is. I'm just I look down and I'm like, do you need some help? You're just swinging.
I mean, I've already killed 2.
Right,
And
just don't go in the water. It's not good.
I know that.
Good. Just give me a cue when you want me to pull on the rope. That's my turn.
Awesome. At the end of your turn, that makes it Ingrid's turn, who rolled a natural 1. Ingrid runs up to the side where you are, Brahm, and looks over the edge, sees Vesenia swinging there, hops up onto the balcony, the ledge bit, and Vez, move that way.
Vez?
Being formal.
She does nicknames. And as you sort of swing out of the way, exposing this drowner to itself, she swings her arm around, and you watch as these runes begin to form around her fingers, which then begin to draw like a runic circle in the air. And then she slams down on the top of it, and an anvil comes out and falls down on this drowner, or goes to.
Amazing.
No, it doesn't. That was a 9, so it just goes, and she overshot a little bit, and it just hovers over its head and just goes sploosh.
Trying to avoid hitting me, I think, because
Yeah,
I've moved out of the way when I am still swinging.
Yeah, just trying to avoid you. Damn it, that was a good anvil. That's her turn done. Elodie, it's your turn. Or Celeramis.
Well, that was very impressive. Did you hit it?
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely, it's gone. Tie yourself off. I can't have.
Oh yeah, that should be good. Yeah, it sort of picks up and sort of ties a little rope. A rope comes out of nowhere and ties herself to it.
The next swing, Celeramis obviously has recovered from bumping into the mast and will sort of brace himself against the opposite side to swing across to the opposite side. But as he does, will yell down at Vesenia. How are they looking? Would you like the honours of dispatching our final foe, milady?
Sure, yes, absolutely, yes, perfect. They're not that hard.
Fine. In that case, we'll, from the vantage of holding onto the rope, we'll leave it and we'll do a rope. I can't remember what they're called. People who do silks. They can do things where they sort of flick the silks they're using around their legs and sort of hold on so they can briefly let go with the other arm. It's fine. I'm next to the mast. I'm not swinging.
I have so much anxiety for both of you. Let's do rope tricks. Let's not. Let's stay on the ship.
But I'm going to cast another not infuse item. What am I talking? Magical tinkering. This time on a bullet, because I don't want to risk trying to do bow and arrow to pistol changing whilst just gripping onto a rope between my legs. That's a lot. So we'll do magical tinkering with a bullet and fire another one off the aft of the ship. Just as another keep them focused behind us and not chasing us.
Awesome. So I'm not going to make you roll. I will ask for either an athletics or acrobatics check for the whole sort of rope thing. Just not to see if you fall flat on your face, but more just to see if you lose a little bit of purchase and slide down a bit and get a little bit of rope burn.
It's a little bit better than before. It's a 15 total.
Yeah, you're fine. You get like a little slide, and you not by much.
Did
You
it?
instantly get yourself fire off. The captain's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I get you."
It's fine. I do this all the time. All the time. It's fine.
Rocks into a
Yeah.
into a wave, and then we move to Vesania's turn.
Still cradled, still swinging.
Swing.
Swing low.
I can just imagine that you're sort of
Vesenia.
you're attached to this rope, and you're sort of running backwards and forwards to get a bit of an oomph. And while you're doing that, you're spinning the whip around in a circle as you're sort of getting momentum, and then you just unleash it before you get within 5 feet.
Well, I was just going to go turn it back into a sword while it wasn't expecting it.
Oh, you could do that as well. Yeah, that sounds cool.
So it's thinking that the distance is ahead of time, and then I rolled, okay, a natural 2 plus my 8 plus a 3 on the bless.
So it's 13. You needed a 12 to hit, so you hit.
Oh.
Yeah, back into a blade and stabbing it in the middle. I have transferred my hex onto this creature.
Yep.
As well, so that is going to be.
Are you also pink flame blading it?
There's no point. There's nothing else for it to go to.
It still takes extra damage.
Yeah, but I'm gonna smite it, baby.
Oh, okay. I've got smite.
Gonna smite it.
I do have smites. So that is
If
8
you are,
of piercing and then 14 points of radiant.
don't use the smite. Don't worry about the smite. You can flavour it that you use the smite, but don't tick it off on your thing because it only had 5 hit points left. So you kill it with the first blow, and then the radiant energy from your smite, which you've not used your smite really at all. You definitely haven't used it since Ethia came to you and went, huh, "You're my champion." As the light, it's almost like you overdo it unintentionally, and this thing just like the light comes out of its eyes and out of its mouth and out of its ears, because these are, for those who have seen the Marlais Rest campaign, these are different sort of drowners to deep drowners. These are more undead people, and the light just billows out of all of the orifices. You can see all the slits and cuts and things that it's got for its gills, and it just explodes outwards, painting the side of the ship a very nice red, somehow managing to completely miss you as it just explodes, and there is nothing. It's just guts that fall into the water. That is combat over. That's all of them dead. Well done.
Saloma slides down the rope. Always good to have someone who knows what they're doing with a whip. Excellent work, team.
Yeah. Boring. You sort of lean over. Do you need pulling up, or are you gonna climb?
Shake the sword clean, sheath it, and then just start pulling myself up.
All right, thought so.
Good to have a pair of eyes on for watching, just in case. Spot me.
Yeah. Spot.
As you get up, Ingrid is there, just untying herself, and she looks towards. I tell you what, it's good to see my own work in action. That was fantastic.
Very fun.
She says that with a Scottish accent, but for some reason I just couldn't do it.
Sure. Just fine craftsmanship indeed, my lady Ingris. Excellent work.
Yeah, well, I mean, if any of you lot have got any other ideas for anything like that you want me to do, let me know. It'll take me a little bit of time to do it when we get back, but I'll definitely give it a go. Obviously, I'll have to remove any enhancements you already have on your weapons, and then reapply them, but I can definitely give that a go. I need some more of that material that you got, though, Vesania.
Hey, I've spent enough money, and you've done me a master craftsmanship. I think you've earned the nickname.
Thank you. Blushes.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna go talk to the captain while. Yeah.
Anyway, you good? You Thanks for that. 3. Well done. So he's
You should have seen it, Lady Vesenia. He strode over to the balustrade and not a care in the world, just punched it in the face with his shield.
I sort of like halfway at the stop, and I'm like, no, that is what happened.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of what happened. It was pretty good. Oh yeah, I forgot your friend can't see me.
No, but I don't know.
Who is that?
He can't. I don't know if they can hear you. At least I think.
No, they can't. Not yet, anyway.
Anyway, I don't want to fall in the sea.
Fez, you see a fully formed fox on Bram's shoulder. It's no longer a spirit for you.
Hello. That is what you look like.
Oh, you can see me fully now. Oh, that's really good fun. That means I got somebody else I can tease about Bram. No, I didn't say that, Bram.
No, of course you didn't. So,
Delightful.
Perry, Rez, Bram. I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, there is a pecking order.
Yeah, no.
Wait. Can you see the fox creature as well now, Lady Vesenia?
I appear so.
Doing a little dance. It's just
It
strange.
is.
Sort of conscious. Is Ingrid still hanging around with us?
Ingrid, yes.
Ingrid, sorry.
That's right. Ingrid is sort of stood there like, what the fuck are you lot going on about?
Yeah, I didn't properly appreciate that. Anyway, Solaris is going to charge forward. Miss Elodie, I have some concerns about the fact that you can now. Miss Ingrid, would you check the prow for us to ensure there are no further drowners ahead?
Which bits is that? I'm completely lost.
The front of the ship, my dear.
Oh yeah, I can go check.
Find the bit with the beautiful golden maiden in front of it.
I can definitely do that.
And then there shall be 2 beautiful maidens at the front. Ha ha.
Turns to look at you, looks you up and down, nods, and then carries on.
Oh, quiet. What do you mean, Elodie? Anyway, you can see the fox spirit now.
Yes, I can.
Like fully, no.
Like fully. Like it is doing a bizarre little dance.
Oh, delightful.
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Sort of here? There?
No, I think it's a good dance, Fawn.
Oh, I am not judging the performance skills or the artistic merit. I have just never seen one like that. Is that not the right word?
It's Elodie poking at my shoulder.
Yes.
Hawthorne has stopped dancing. Their face has turned towards the prow of the ship, not where Ingrid is, but sort of looks slightly to the right, and is growling at something in the distance as you begin to see an island begin to form.
Something wrong with Marlais Rest.
I sense evil coming from there. Something unnatural. Something that's not right.
Oh.
Move to the other side.
What is it? What's going on?
It's now moved to... I'm joking.
Hawthorne's Hawthorne's growling at the island. There's something.
I need to go check something, and fades away like the Cheshire Cat.
Okay, she's gone. So we have a proper conversation now. So there's something up with the island. She doesn't like it. The fact you can see her.
Yes, Elodie was concerned about that.
Yeah. Did you
die?
No. I accepted all parts of who I am. That includes the fact that, very technically, I am deaf.
Huh.
Right.
I suppose that makes some kind of sense.
So you can, I can, Perry can. Interesting.
I know you seem to be very stuck on the maths there, Brahm, but what that
Yeah.
means, though, is that I, Lucian, and Udric have not died, just to finish that equation off for you.
Yeah, or haven't made a contract of some sort. I did. Perry is able to come back from the dead, and now our associate here is able to make drowners explode. Interesting.
Do you think Peripatea's condition is because they signed a contract?
Maybe not this version, but a version of Perry. You know, we know that she was dabbling in deep dark arts. Maybe it's an agreement until she can't die until something is contractually fulfilled. It happens in the old stories.
Doesn't have to be I chose my new path. It could have gone any way, and mine is with my lady Lightveil.
Uh-huh. I don't know what Hawthorne is. I don't fully remember what I did to bring her on, but just we all need to be careful, and especially if we don't know what's on that island. If it's enough to freak her out, then something's very, very wrong here, and I don't just think it's pirates.
A dragon, perhaps?
Yeah.
Or something to do with the forge in the mountains?
You need fire to run a forge, and we do know that, I mean, that dragon's either dead or sleeping, and why not both? We're already worried about undead dragons. The rising didn't quite settle itself. A lot of things went, well, points to the sea, went deep, went dark. Maybe actually some light bringing is not a bad idea at this point. Maybe we can drive it out. Or maybe it's just bad vibes. Maybe a fox is just scared. Maybe there's a really big dog and she doesn't like that. I probably wouldn't say that if I knew that she was still here. But
Maybe there could be like a really giant bird.
that's also terrifying. You know,
Could be something we could have a chat with.
would be nice. Be nice to be actually fighting something that we can actually talk around.
Ah, look at you all looking so serious. We'll sort of grab you by the shoulders and give you both like a little shake. A mysterious island, potential for dragons, a forge that no one's seen anything come out of in near a decade, an eon. Adventure, chaps. Exploration, discovery.
Adventure.
Saloma's hands.
Oh, my lady, apologies.
Attempting to be better, but no grabbing without warning.
I apologize. It was a mere shoulder. I understand. It was not intended to be an infringement. I shall not do it again.
It is mostly that I am trained to react very badly to those around me who do that, and it is a lot of control, not...
Understood.
Hands.
I need to see it coming.
I shall flap my feathers at you more voraciously before I touch you next time.
Thank you.
With your permission.
Anyway, enthusiastic point about adventure noted.
Are you actually a bird? I don't think we've ever really had that. Yeah, I know that's what Elodie sees, but are you actually a bird?
I'm a sparrow.
Like,
See? We'll sort of hop round. Obviously just look like Elodie.
yeah, Elodie's just doing some... I like to think in the film version, it's the different actor, and now the camera's like panned around, and it's the Elodie actor just doing some hopping, and we're like, all right, no, okay, Sparrow. Are you connected to the sparrows back there?
Yes, I don't know. I did wonder. Elodie was wondering about that as well.
Named after you?
I am rather heroic.
I mean, we know that he's a... Sorry, I don't mean to be talking like you're not here, but we know you are this great heroic figure of old, so... If anyone...
How dare you? In my prime.
apology. Of
Beyond's past.
You're a legendary figure that if anyone was going to, maybe you established something, a group. Maybe we don't know how old the sparrows are.
This brings a great question, Josh, for you, I guess. We've sort of loosely said about Salaramus and his adventures. You're the one that made him a real person. How much does this version of Salaramus know?
Also assumed a real end. So at the end of that book would be what happened to him.
This version of Salaramus knows exactly what happens in the book that Elodie owns.
Which we've never really covered. So what is that? Or has Elodie never got to the final page?
Just refuses
I mean,
to.
It's too
that's a
sad.
question. I'm going to rebound that to you. Would Elodie have finished the book, or is it one of those things where she never wants it to end?
No, well, okay. So basically, she would have read the book and reread the book and reread the book cover to cover, unless there was a specific, magical effect that stopped her and made her lose her place and she had to start again kind of situation. So if you've not got any reason for her to not finish the book, then she would have.
Yeah, there's no reason for her to not have finished the book. The book doesn't give a play-for-play sort of life of the characters that are in it. It gives sort of more of almost like an anthology of stories set for each of them, and none of them have like a definitive ending to that character. It's as if more stories could possibly have been written and there's possibly more books out there. God, am I really going to send Elodie on a hunt for books as well?
I mean,
So many books to find.
we're going a big library.
Yeah.
As in, yeah.
Book club. If anybody knows how important I think books are, especially when it comes to the Elder Scrolls video games, where you literally get skill points for reading books.
Right.
That's
Became
probably
very
where
good
that'll
at
come from.
carpentry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, I've read a lot of books.
Yes, you should be like 100 in your crafting.
The point is, old chap, I'd never retire. The legend keeps on going,
No, of course. Yeah, no. Heroes never die, I believe, as they say. Looks down at himself and is like, "Oh, my hero."
Oh, you are a hero. It goes to put a hand on your shoulder and then sort of
No,
takes it away.
no. I'm okay being touched. I don't have.
Oh, okay, that was an aggressive squeeze of the
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah. We can. Yeah.
You are
Decide-
too heroic to die. That's what it was.
Well, I came back for love, and look where that got me.
The most heroic quest of all.
I almost feel like I have to set another conversation with Virgin Cinema. It's like, you wouldn't, Lee. Did you actually? Hell, we'll do it. Were you ever in love?
Many times. Many different bows in many places. But love, true love. No, that is something that has never graced my stories.
That's.
The quest that never was.
Oh, sorry. I
Children's
didn't
books, you see.
mean- Oh, of course. Maybe there's. That is fascinating that you are aware that you are from a book. I realise we haven't really ever had this conversation. That you're not just you're aware that you're a sparrow. You came
Yes.
from the book, and the others.
You are an orc. What is?
half orc, half elf?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a thing with the Salaramus stories that pops up in various different parts of the anthology for Salaramus in that section of the book, is that there is a maid. There's always a maid around. Not a maid as in a cleaning maid, but a maid as in
it's
a
a
maiden.
cleaning maid.
a maiden. Yeah, there is, but they're called maid.
Cleaning maiden.
They're just called the maid, and it's somebody that pops up in all of your stories that they sort of hint towards a will they won't they sort of situation, but it never happens in those books.
Which is pretty much. There are multiple maids.
The never-ending quest.
Yeah. quite. No, I'm sorry. So I just think it's interesting that, we'll just have this conversation. We'll get an opportunity. And you tell Elodie that she's plenty brave. She doesn't think that she is.
She can hear you.
Good. Elodie,
She's just here.
You're plenty brave. Like I told you, you don't need to, as great as the swing is, you don't...
She's mumbling something. She's looking a bit embarrassed.
No, well, it's
No,
nice.
of course I'm going to tell him. Don't be a ridiculous girl.
It's just nice to see.
She's quite cross at me right now. Sorry.
Oh, I can imagine. No.
I'm just going to go and I'm telegraphing it and then put my hand on Elodie / Salomus's shoulder and just squeeze it.
Aha!
No.
He's going to parry your hand off. No dagger or anything like that, but he's pointing as if he were holding a rapier to you.
I think a joke. I think let's not get bloodshed on the nice.
Yes,
wood.
that is funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
No, you can't. You can't say, haha, yes, it's funny. That means you didn't enjoy. Oh dear. I have mortally wounded your sensibilities, my lady Vesenia, and I cannot apologize enough. Please tell me, what mayst I do to rectify the situation?
He needs a quest.
Besides the spooky island that we're slowly drifting towards, that your invisible fox was concerned about. We can ignore that for the moment, please.
Not a very fun person.
Yes, you are. Don't worry about it.
Do not be ridiculous. Everyone has a mote of fun in them somewhere. You must have laughed once. See a smile. A smile right now.
I rolled a 1, so I'm not sure I did.
Okay.
I can't remember if anything that's not related to Sunny. Can't remember.
Well, actually, I'm going to correct you on that, because part of your one-on-one and accepting yourself is that you regained your memories before your transformation to the Harbinger of Death. And there is a moment where you were sitting in your hut with your dad, and he was telling you, this was when he first got sick, and he was off work and laying in bed, and he was telling you all about a story of how he met your mother. I'm waiting for
Did
the
it
how I
end
met your
really
mother jokes.
annoyingly?
Yeah, it ends really annoyingly with the mum dying. No, it doesn't end that way. But he tells you this story about this one time when they were out on an adventure together, because they both met doing adventuring, and there was this funny incident where they were with an elf, an elven companion of theirs, who decided to fire. They was fighting some like creatures. He was a bit vague on the details because you were quite young and didn't want to get too gory. And an arrow was fired directly up in the air, and they never saw the arrow again. And for some reason, he found that hilariously funny, and it made you sort of snort, giggle when you were like 5 or 6 years old, because the arrow just disappeared.
Oh, well, tell a lie, I have just remembered. The childhood coming back in bits. But someone that Papa knew when he just met Mum shot an arrow into the air and it went up and didn't come down again. Apparently it was hilarious, and because he thought it was hilarious, I thought it was hilarious.
Shot an arrow in the air and it never came back.
Flaming arrow into the air, an elfin friend.
Must have been a very powerful shot.
A large bird again. Carried it off.
Definitely sound like one of those you had to have been there to have experienced it moments, and it doesn't translate well when somebody tries to tell it as a story.
It's not funny now, but
No.
we're asking when I've smiled, and I've apparently remembered that I used to find things hilarious when I was a child, so...
Well, then it's an opportunity, isn't it? We get to discover what you find funny. Maybe your wordplay, maybe it's pratfalls, maybe it's fart jokes. Maybe, it's an opportunity to find out. Puns? Do you like puns?
I'm just going to, again, magical tinkering because the blood arrows would have, the blood arrows will have worn off. I'm going to take another arrow and try and mimic what Vesenia described. It's the tip of the arrow is not actually on fire, but I'm going to magical tinkering it so it looks like it's on fire. In fact, it's a little smiley face of fire on the arrow. Yeah. And hand you the notched bow. Go on. It's not actually on fire. What's the worst that can happen?
I mean, I'm not a bow.
That's fine.
Am I doing this right?
Yeah, okay. So just a little... Well, may I touch your arm, milady?
Of course. Thank you for asking.
Will sort of slightly adjust so you've got it notched just right.
It flies off into the air, and as it flies up, it goes out of sight, and then you don't see it fall down.
See?
That is funny.
That is quite good.
I'm not sure it's a funny ha-ha, but it is strange. Ha-ha!
There we go.
There it is.
No, don't be embarrassed. It's a good...
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace the silliness. Ha ha ha! Oh no, I ruined it. Sorry.
No. See, that in itself is funny.
Thank you. All three of you, many of you, including those I have not met properly yet, you've all been very kind.
We'll just do an elaborate bow.
We'll try and copy it. Just mirror it.
Anyway, I'm going to go talk to the captain about what we're doing as we move up into leaving yet another conversation.
And you, before we leave the boat, will thrust a rope in your hand.
Right, okay. So what do? You run and you jump?
Yeah, she's got to get the momentum, and wrap it round thus. We'll sort of, just with panache, flick the rope around, and it just kind of wraps around the arm.
Okay, I'm gonna do an acrobatics check. It's a 16.
That's a pretty good acrobatics check. Are you looking to fully lunge off of the ship and sort of swing around a bit similar to how Solarimus did before?
I think he'd be disappointed if I didn't.
You're able to do that easy enough. You get a running leap, you jump off, and as you do that, Ingrid is turned round and is like, I can't see anything. Is there more drowners? And you go sort of soar around and land close to where the steps are that lead up to the upper deck part where the captain is. It's very impressive.
See? You get a huge round of applause. He flies!
As Brahm lands, he just gets a flash of swinging a rope in a swamp and being like, Captain.
Fine.
Bess is literally now just walking up the stairs and you're already there going, oh.
No, I was doing the rope trick.
That is...
No, Captain, Bez needs to have a word.
Well, that was an interesting trick, Brahm. You could have done that before when you travelled with us.
No, I've got a good tutor down there. They're teaching me.
They all seem like quite a pretty good group. Now, my lady, what can I do for you? I know. Have our services been adequate enough so far?
Oh, absolutely impeccable.
Good, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Now, what can I do for you? So, do you have any concerns or questions or queries or anything that we can do to help out with the transition? We are 2 days out from the island. You can see it just cresting in the distance over there. We will need to have a discussion about how we're going to get you all to the shore, but I'll answer any of your questions first.
That's fine. Just checking that all of your crew remain unharmed, that there is no damage to the ship. And again, now that we can see it on the horizon, what our plans are for the next couple of days as we travel. Just minor questions.
That's fine. And no injuries to any of the crew, as you can see them beginning to come out from the lower decks. No injuries to the crew. Minor. The drowners weren't able to get onto the deck itself, so minor damages to the hull. Nothing breach. Nothing of concern for like breaching and stuff. We can get those repairs done when we get to Grimport. And in terms of what the plan is now, we're going to keep sailing, keep an eye out for more drowners. And then, as I said, the next discussion that we'll need to have is how we're going to get the 3 of you to shore, 4 of you to shore, pointing towards Ingrid.
Plans on the morrow?
On the morrow, yeah, we can definitely do that. We've had a bit of a day today. Let's do it tomorrow.
Sorry. And I shall bid you adieu and let you get back to your duties.
Thank you very much. And as you descend down the stairs and out of earshot of him, I don't know if Bram's still up there or not, but you hear him go, oh. Just takes a few breaths.
I think Brahm is sort of like having slightly look and going, I know. She's a sweetheart, really.
What a woman. Right, anyway.
Chance to count. Why is everyone so horny on the ship?
Sailors.
Sailors. Seamen. That's a little joke I wouldn't tell to a
All Bess wants to do is hold hands with one person.
Impossible.
So, unless there's anything that any role play or anything that anybody wants to do over the next 2 days, there's no other incidences with drowners at all. So I'll pose that question to anybody. Does anybody have any role play they want to do with anybody at all?
I think Brahm, having sort of done carving in his downtime, has given my 2 associates. I gave Elodie like my best attempt at a sparrow, or like I was like I could work on other birds as well. And I gave like a little cat person. Just it's decent, sort of like it's something that he's obviously getting back into, but just as a sort of like nice little token.
Give me a whittle check.
A whittle.
A whittle check.
That would be with my so tools under the new rules. That's
yes, so woodcumber's tools under the new rules, that will be a dexterity check. If you're proficient with it, you get advantage and get to add your proficiency bonus.
amazing. So
It's very cool.
Very cool. Let me check where my proficiency is there. So dex with advantage.
I just realised your dex is -1.
Well, yes. So it would be. So the roll would be a 16. Where do I find proficiency on the sheet? There, 2. So 19.
Your proficiency should be +3 now.
Plus 3. Plus 3. So I got a 16 plus 3, 19.
Okay, cool. Right, yeah, so not perfectly. These things, if you're purposely trying to make the little cat girl one look like Sunny, it is pretty much a spitting image of Sunny. The only thing missing from it is a bit of paint to make it the colours of Sunny, but yeah, it looks almost identical to Sunny as much as you can do in a little wooden carving, and the sparrow is pretty much spot on as well. Might be like a slight little embellished with a few of like the chest feathers and things, but other than that, it's nothing that's really sort of it's what's the word, negligible.
Nice. So they are about sort of. What's that, about 5 inches? Yeah, sort of like they're of a decent size. So
I'm going to add a little detail. I think that actually the ornithopter, the mechanical bird that Elodie created, is sparrow-sized, but is actually shaped more like a raven, and she has called it Corvu.
Oh,
Like that.
So I'm assuming next day, so she'll be back to Elodie again. When you hand this to her, she'll obviously delighted squeal, big hug.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and looks just like Celerimus. Thank you, Brahm. Look at it, Corvu. And this little mechanical raven just kind of like, and we'll sort of peck at it. Yes, I think it'll do.
I sort of look. You approve, Corvu? You like it?
It's like it's a mechanical, like it makes the same call every
Yeah.
time. It's not really thinking.
I mean, Bram's a bit of a fantasist and takes it. It's like, yeah, no, magic bird. No. Again, it's good to use
Oh,
the
I was
wood.
going to say something really harsh then, but I'm not going to.
What about Corvu?
No, I was going to say you'll take approval from anywhere.
Well, again, I have spent so much time by myself.
This is true.
I think, as we said, any port in a storm.
Yeah.
It's been a hard life for me. Where's my mother? Give me back my mother.
Oh, we've had the Greta thing for however many episodes. Now it's the mother thing.
It just this is why you get on a ship and you leave. You don't get connections. You just go. It gets complicated.
Yes, sorry, that has just been an update with Brahm about mechanics, because Vess now remembers being turned into a horseman, and therefore what has happened to Brahm's mother. So at some point on this journey, does sit down and go, but if it's something like there was an actual both scientific and ritual event, which means that there is something tangible that could be undone.
So I got you this cat.
I have given you a greater possibility of having your mother back.
No, I massively appreciate it, Vess. It's nice to know that it's reversible. No, it's
It is.
hope, as we said.
I mean, it's still. None of my siblings managed to go and break free. Just.
Do you think they wanted to?
Morty doesn't.
No.
Morty was as bad going into it, and it just made him worse. Ellie was upset, and it made her bitter and sadistic. Your uncle wanted to protect, and it made him into conquest. So think of what your mother may have wanted. Maybe backtrack from how you've seen her. And then see if that could be reversed.
When my father died, she became a very different person. She became a harsh person. She wasn't unloving, but he tempered her. Hopefully.
Aaron, can you make me an intelligence saving throw, please?
Oh no.
Saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You just said something that will hit home for Bram.
10.
As you say, when my father died, and finish that sentence, you get like a. You know, I don't know if anybody else has ever had this, but have you ever had that thing where you're just talking about something and then all of a sudden something connected to that just sort of throws itself right to the front of your brain?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot about this thing. Your father died. Yes, your father died.
I think I see where this might be going. Okay, yeah.
Kimdak wants to get into the temple to resurrect his dead wife. Could my mother be wanting the same thing?
Oh, yeah.
Is the thought that rushes into your head.
Oh, I think I know what she wants him back. She wants him, like Kimdak is trying to bring back his wife.
Family.
No, she's. She left, and she. is the horrible realization of a child realizing your parents love the other parent more than they actually love you. And you're like, oh, stupid. So if we stop this, we stop that as well. And that's for the better good, isn't it? With, like, slightly mad eyes, I'm looking at you being like, and that's the good for everyone if we stop him, right?
I'm just going to assume Elodie is not in the room at this point.
I mean, I'm making noise. If Elodie has come down and wants to have heard this, again, I wasn't like.
Oh yeah, I
having a
assumed you were
secret-
all together.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wasn't having a secret conversation with Ez, but so
Okay.
people, yeah.
I mean, if Elodie's in the room and you say that, then she'll just look at you with horror.
Again, looking at you again, it's the slight mania of someone who's like, I know that this is wrong, but
Father's already dead. It is. I believe that the best way that we can honor those who have gone is not those who may have temporarily slipped over the border and still on the edge of whether they're with us or not. But if they've gone,
I came back and it's still me. So no, it's not right. It's not right. It's gonna.
How soon did you come back, Brahm, after you died?
It must be hours. Yeah. No, you're right. No, he wouldn't.
I think what you
It's okay. Cast guidance.
Yeah.
Hand
Yeah.
out. Do you
Yeah,
just get a warm glow?
Wisdom saving throw from Bram, please. I'm sorry, Bram.
Yeah. At 10.
With guidance?
Oh, with can I
With
take
guidance, you can roll with guidance.
What's D4, right?
4d4.
14.
14. Even with the 14, the pair of both Hera and Vesenia and Elodie, as you're kind of, I'm assuming that breathing was like signifying you're beginning to have some sort of like a panic attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as that sort of anger sort of floods in and all of these emotions, you could get your dad back from this, but you also need to stop Kimdak, and you're conflicted in this. Both of you two watch as this black energy begins to form up, sort of like, almost like liquid begins to climb up, grow out from Bram's injured hand, and begins to climb up his arm before he sort of shakes himself, and it sort of rescinds back down into his injured hand.
Brahm,
Yeah.
what was that?
What was what?
Just holding your hand and we'll just look it over.
Bram's wearing like sort of a brace over the hand, so I don't think he fully fit. He's like, it's my hand. It's
You panicked. You had a look in your eye and your hand went black.
sort of points his eye like that.
Josh?
I mean, same colour.
Yeah.
But what you saw on Bram's arm was more of like a inky, oily type thing. Think of like the Venom symbiote
I was gonna
beginning
say,
to climb up
Venom.
his arm.
Yeah. It looked different to that, more inky.
and I do just what this is.
Yeah.
I've got divine sense, so I can detect good and evil around me. So I'm just gonna see if there's any echoes of any
Smart.
thing specific.
Is there any sort of save or anything that needs to be rolled against that?
No, just until the end of my next turn. I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead that's within.
Celestial Fiend and Undead, yeah?
Yeah, so I just kind of want to. Those are the only 3 I can work with right now, but at least it gives me a vague range of things.
So you cast that, and you can sense. Does it say you know the direction?
This specific, yeah, the location.
Okay. You can sense 2 fiends and 2 celestials within the range of your divine sense. One of the fiends is you, pointing directly at you. One of the celestials is pointing towards Elodie. The other fiend and celestial are both pointed at Brahm.
You asked earlier about the one who was both and felt very sad about not being special.
Oh no. No, I'm okay not being.
Because
The one that lies between.
That's we know. No, we know that's not me. We know it. That's points back to the way we came. That we worked that out. They transcend.
Well, we know it's not Perry.
you are both. I've just done a check just to see if there was anything on us, and I've got a fiend on me, celestial on Elodie, and both of them on you.
Oh.
But that doesn't... Brahm is not as old as the prophecy. So there must be others.
I'm an option, I guess. If they're going to find others. Kind of looking at Elodie and going, you can kind of see the look of him. He's also like, should we just keep running? We've had this conversation previously.
To be fair, if that is true, then you've got a fiend fallen, a celestial, and the one that lies between, all in the same place at the minute. If that's true,
We've got 4/5 of what they need for the ritual right
Exactly.
3/5 of what they need for the ritual right here.
As we turn around and Beho's just holding a shotgun. It's like, sorry guys.
Beho!
Beho, you were the people's champion.
We trusted you, Beho.
You joined our band. We had a sailors band. Yeah, just sort of like, right, okay. Okay, so I've put myself on the board. Good to know. Good to know that this is...
Solomon seemed to think that there might be a way to open the temple without doing the ritual the way that Kimdak suggested. And that's part of what we're out here to look for, right? We're looking for the cipher, but maybe a clue to how else it can be done without sacrifice.
Yes.
But, Brahm, everything that I've read about the Undead Rising... I'm sure your father was lovely and you loved him very much and your mother loves him very much. I don't know how well this might go.
It wouldn't be him, right? And again, it's sort of like he's looking at you with this sort of... both of you with the intensity of like, it'd come back wrong. It wouldn't be him, right?
It takes away the choice from what I know of the way that Kimdak wants to do it. It takes away the choice. And you've been in the woods. Any wild animal trapped, injured, and does not want to be there would cause as much destruction to itself as to the world around it in order to escape it. And it's never... It wouldn't be him, and he wouldn't be happy. But if we can find a way to do it properly, without the sacrifice of others,
Yeah, no,
and give him a choice.
yeah.
I know Salaramus said the other day that the quest for love is the greatest quest of all. But it has to be done right. You can't take the quick road.
Both of you seem that you've actually sort of pretty much got him in the ribs here, where he's like, he wanted it, and he's like, yeah, no. It's not right. It's not what he'd want. It would disgust him to know that I even consider. Yeah, no.
You get a big gangly hug.
Yeah, sort of fully sort of lean into it, and then you also just getting a big pat on the back. Thanks. No, thank you both. That's.
Corvu will just peck at your shoulder.
The sound of like scritch, like finger on brass. Like, thank you. Exactly.
Thank you for the cat. It was very charming, and I liked it very much. And sorry to turn the mutual gift giving.
No, I realised that kind of all got like swallowed up, but no, both of you enjoy your gifts. It's family tradition. You know, we make gifts for those we love, and we're family here, and maybe we're now part of an ancient prophecy to unlock great doors, and so we're just gonna have to accept that, and we're gonna have to hope that Mr. Solomon didn't decide to put us together for another greater scheme, whatever out there in that forge.
I have asked him quite directly about that, and he seemed genuine when he didn't. He knew that things were going on, but he didn't quite appreciate the exact serendipity of this particular group.
Oh. Well, so he says, but I suppose we need to trust him.
Oh, no, Perceptia looked right through him, and she seemed to think that he was telling the truth.
Sort of like, well, if Perceptia thinks, then their word is good. Brahm realising never have actually met this person, but was like, yep, no, sure.
Sure.
It's a bit like you were like, but don't worry, John thinks they're good. I'm like, well, John thinks they're good.
Her name's Perceptia. She seems perceptive.
It must be in the nominative
I
determinism.
don't know this person, but I know the person who says they know this person, and I trust them very much.
Elodie is solid, and so we can trust. Yeah.
As you're having this conversation, this is on the second day, so you're on the seventh.
Oh my god!
On the second day after the fight. So it's the seventh
After the
day.
fight, okay.
After the fight, yeah.
So it's the seventh day, and you've had this conversation, and then you begin to hear the loud ding 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 bells come from above.
Right. So I think that means landfall.
Spooky Island time.
Spooky Island time. Josh, Hawthorne hasn't come back since.
Nope. Hawthorne disappeared on the 5th day. It's now the 7th day, and there has been no sign of her at all.
Boo. Right. So yeah, we need to think of how we're gonna. Maybe that.
We talked about that yesterday. We just need to follow through.
Okay.
As you all head up onto the deck, you can see you're sort of cresting round the bay, where the bay area, the sort of like the entranceway to Marlais Rest. You've gone past this large cliff facing with a waterfall that's shooting down it, and you've sort of swung round into the bay area. You can see that there's a very ruined, wrecked ship that's on the sand. Not so much in the water, but more on the sand. Its aft is completely sort of torn away, and there's a massive hole in the center of the ship. You can see going up the beach towards where the grassy slopes are, there are wooden spiked battlements all along the wall, all along this bit, stopping things from getting up the beach, other than a small little gap where you can see people funneling through, and on the beach you can see drowners charging up, and you can see fighting happening on the beach. But not only can you see the type of drowners that you regularly see and fight against, you can see these large 8-foot tall hulking creatures with fins sticking out of their forearms, webbed feet sticking out, no eyes, completely solid mass on their heads, as these are deep drowners, and they are charging up as well. That is where we are going to end tonight's session. You didn't get to fight them in Marlais Rest, so you're going to fight them in this.
Oh, we had to try diplomacy. Maybe it'll work this time.
For a second, I was like kind of going, but because of the Marlais Rest, they're fighting on the side of our people.
Yes. But then Marley's journey happens, and then, need to read that book. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for tonight's episode. We have been Roll Together RPG. If you like what you see, we do D&D content on Mondays from 6 p.m. UK time. Massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters, and also to our D20 Club and Dice Heads on Patreon. They are fantastic. They are the best. You can join them from as little as one of your local currency per month, or one poppet, which must be sent to Tom for all of the poppeting reasons.
I get a poppet.
You get all the poppets, and there's the Tempest. There we go.
My lady wife. Oh, she's gone.
She's gone.
I'll find you.
She's my wife now.
Oh.
If you are watching us on that Red app, then please do consider leaving a like, commenting down below, and subscribing to our channel. It helps the algorithm tell us what you like, so we know what to make more of for you. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.